All right, here we go. Go Bills. Yes! Yes! Let's go! Yes! Gabe Davis! Let's go! All right, he missed one earlier. I'm ready to have my heart broken. Here we go. Please miss. Please, sir. Please miss. Please miss. Dang it. Dang it. Dang it. Dang it. Dang it. Heck of a game. My birthday's in 2 hours, and Patrick Mahomes just ruined it for the second straight year in a row. Still go Bills. Circle the wagons. Pain. Unimaginable pain.
The following is a Bearded Broadcaster Productions podcast.
Folks, this is Breakfast Time, Waffle and Richard, and this might be the saddest episode of all time. If you know us, you probably know why this is the saddest episode of all time, because NFL playoffs were rolling deep, and we're just going to get right into it. It was a great weekend if you weren't fans. If you're just an NFL fan, if you didn't have a dog in the fight, you had 4 fantastic games, and 2 of those involved our teams, the Titans and the Bills, and we'll dive into it. It's not fun being on this side of it, Waffle. It's not fun at all.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Yeah. So we'll start. We'll go right into it. We'll start with the Titans and the Bengals, AFC Divisional Round. Bengals, of course, winning their first playoff game in 31 years. The Titans are the 1 seed, claiming that in AFC, so they get home, and Derrick Henry's back, and it set up a good game. But, of course, as you know, by way of our voice, the Bengals are able to hold off the Titans in a late rally, and Evan McPherson kicks the game-winning field goal. So, Waffle, let's get the pain out. Let's get it all out in the open. Let's go through this game between the Titans and the Bengals.
All right. Prepare yourselves if you're listening. Richard, you prepare yourself too, because I don't know how long I'm going to go. I really don't know.
We threatened last week we might be 5 hours, and it might be. We're not sure. There's a lot of feelings up here tonight.
Could be, but I'm about to lay it all out for you. I'm going to give you the short version. I'm going to take you through everything that happened, and I'm also going to talk about off-season things and things to look at, things that need to be addressed, and players we need to sign, money. The NFL's a business. So
Right.
All right, here we go. I didn't know if I could do this 2 days ago, but here we are. Saturday, 4:30, Nissan Stadium, Nashville, Tennessee. Tennessee Titans come in as the 1 seed for the first time since 2008. They've only done that 2 other times. It was 2008 and also 2000 since they've been the Titans, since 99.
Yeah.
Titans come in hosting a Bengals team who we know is dangerous. We know has a great quarterback in Joe Burrow. We also know has a dangerous wide receiving core, a good running back, lots of weapons, lots and lots of weapons. Place is rocking. I'm in Nissan Stadium. I got to give it up to the fans at Nissan, because I've been a Titans fan, let's say, for 16 years. My God, 16 years. Yo, that's crazy to me. I really just put it in perspective. When Vince Young came to Tennessee, so 2006. God bless. All right, yeah. 16 years. I've been a devout Titans fan, watched every single snap of every single game. probably for the past 4 to 5 years, now that I have the means to get my own Sunday ticket and blah, 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 blah. So I have never seen it like that. It was wild. Obviously, the return of Derrick Henry, we knew was going to pop off. I mean, pregame, it was rocking, man. And then when they announced Derrick Henry in the starting lineup, that place was deafening. I've never heard it that loud. It just through the TV, obviously, I wish I could have been there and just experienced it firsthand. But through the TV, you could just conveyed all the energy. Big time matchup. Derrick Henry's back. Titans 1 seed. A lot of hype. The short version of how this game went. Bengals get the dub 19-16. Before I get into that, let me just give it up for the Bengals because congratulations.
Right.
They played a great game.
Yeah.
They're doing something special. Haven't won a playoff game in 31 years. Got that out of the way last week. Now they're moving on to the AFC Championship game. More power to you, Bengals. Everybody loves the underdog, including myself. They just happen to take out my team. So, I mean, it sucks. We did it to the Ravens 2 years ago. I get it. Tennessee's been on the other end of this, and it was fun. Now, obviously, being on the end where you lose sucks, and I wholeheartedly acknowledge that. But congrats to the Bengals. At this point, I hope they go win it all. But this game, the short version of this game is this. If I would have told you, if somebody would have told me Saturday morning that Joe Burrow was going to throw 0 touchdowns, not even have a rushing touchdown, was going to have 1 interception, the Titans defense would sack him 9 times, and Tennessee would lose, I might have laughed in your face.
Yeah, totally.
But that is exactly what happened in this game. Tennessee, A.J. Brown had over 140 yards receiving. We rushed for over 140 yards as a team. Sacked Joe Burrow 9 times. He didn't score a touchdown. We lost? You got to be kidding me. No shot.
Yeah.
That's the short version. That's what happened in this game. As far as the long version, get ready because here we freaking go. It starts off with a bang. Tennessee gets the ball first. Cincinnati defers. Tennessee gets the ball. Come out. First play of the game. There's 15 minutes left in the first quarter. Starting at the 25-yard line, Ryan Tannehill drops back, stares Julio Jones down, stares through him. I mean, looks at him the whole way. Slings it late. Jesse Bates for the Bengals makes an incredible play to come from his safety spot, recognizes it quick, picks the ball off. Interception on the first play of the game. I should have known. As soon as that happened.
Cursed.
I should have.
Cursed right there.
Part of me wanted to think, oh, well, okay, we'll get the turnover out of the way early. So now we don't have to worry about it, whatever. All right. We throw a pick on the first play. That's obviously not great. You don't want to do that. Titans defense comes out here. Joe Burrow, first play, sacked with a split sack by Naquan Jones and Danico Autry. Okay, defense set the tone early. Cincinnati fuddles around. 3rd and 9 at the Tennessee 23, so they're obviously in field goal range. We sacked Joe Burrow again, and it's knowing what we know now about Evan McPherson, I don't necessarily know if it is out of field goal range, but it makes it a very long field goal.
Yeah.
And the refs want to play ref ball and come back here and call delay of game after the whole play has transpired. Okay, whatever. So they come back, 3rd down. They throw a pass to T. Higgins. He gets 8 yards. They kick a field goal. 3-0. Great stop. Great. The defense is here to play. I mean, obviously, that could have been a lot worse. They could have gone bang, bang, bang. Touchdown, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Mixon, whoever.
Yeah, right.
Tennessee comes back out, goes 3 and out. All right, here we go. Punt it back to them. The Bengals do nothing. I think it's probably a safe bet. We sacked him again. Yeah, we did. Harold Landry sacked him for a loss of 8 yards. They punt it, and then they get called for a fair catch interference. So Titans, flipping the field a little bit. They're starting with a little bit better field position. So they're starting on the 25. Well, I guess same field position, but Titans do get a first down. No, I lied. Whatever. Titans punt. Bengals get it back. Bengals punt back. Tennessee takes it 9 plays, 84 yards. After Ryan Tannehill finds A.J. Brown for a 41-yard reception that kickstarts the drive. We get all the way down there, and we put Derrick Henry in the Wildcat. And that's, foreboded well in the past. And, it's good that Tennessee's ran this before because specifically they did it against the Ravens in the game that we beat them when they were the 1 seed. Ran Derrick Henry at Wildcat, and he threw a passing touchdown to Corey Davis, and still should have thrown it to Marcus Mariota. But Corey Davis. So you come out in this look inside the 5-yard line or at the 5-yard line, and you have to respect everything because Tennessee's obviously he can run it up the middle. He can take it outside like he did against the Texans at overtime last year, or he can throw it over the top. And so he does exactly what he does. He gets it and he runs outside, scores a touchdown. Tennessee's back in it. The place is rocking, especially Derrick Henry's first touchdown back since Halloween. Oh, wow. And then Tennessee kicks the extra point. It's good, but the refs blow a whistle. There is 12 men in the formation for the Bengals. Mike Vrabel does something that is a hot topic in the NFL. Analytics. Analytics is huge. You got some coaches that live and die by it, like Brandon Staley from the Chargers, people who love it, people who absolutely hate it. In this situation, when there's a penalty on the defense, they are going to allow you to enforce the penalty from the 2-yard line, which is where extra points used to be kicked from and where all 2-point conversions go from. Mike Vrabel elects to take the penalty and get a shot at a 2-point conversion from the 1-yard line. And this is a hot topic, but I 100% agree, and I would go for that 100% of the time when you have Derrick Henry in the backfield.
Absolutely. I get why people didn't like his analytics and stuff. And it was later in the game. 1, you don't know what's going to happen later in the game. And 2, it's Derrick Henry. That's a good call, I think.
And once you see the results of this game, obviously, in hindsight, you look back and you're like, oh my God, if we'd have just kicked that extra point, things could have been so much different.
Game on the final drive, whatever.
Yes. If we also got the 2-point conversion, things would have been different as well. But long story short, Tennessee does not get the 2-point conversion. There's another great play off the edge by a Cincinnati defender. And we don't get it. Stop short. Okay, whatever. We scored a touchdown. Momentum's back. We're fine. So Bengals go 11 plays, get 39 yards. They kick a field goal. Tennessee punts again before half. Bengals 7 plays, 58 yards to end the half. It's 9-6. Honestly, for everything, how it started, first play of the game, we're not in a bad position. Tennessee, historically, I've watched this team devotedly for whatever the word is, for 5 years. And, this team has always been a second-half team. It's very rare that they get started early in the first quarter. Look at Derrick Henry's rushing stats over his past 2 years. Even in the beginning of the season, they're not as good as when it gets to trademark D. Henber, which obviously we got robbed of because he was hurt. But around this time of the year, this is when Derrick Henry runs wild. Second half is when you're wearing down that defense. Derrick Henry has a field day. So Titans offense usually clicks. So you know what? I'm feeling okay. The only thing we can't do is let the Bengals come out here and just maul us and score a touchdown.
Right.
And that's exactly what they did. 9 plays, 65 yards is 16-6. Cincinnati has not been able to run the ball all day. And they, to Tennessee's defense's credit, they are still not running the ball well. Joe Mixon did break off the touchdown run for about 10, 12 yards or whatever it was. Yeah. And he made a really good cut. That's the best run Joe Mixon had all day. Cincinnati could not run the ball. They could, Joe Burrow could not sit in the pocket because Tennessee obviously sacked him 9 times. I tried to tell everybody this defensive line is the best defensive line in football as a collective unit, and you cannot change my mind. If that game didn't show you, then what the heck are you watching?
Yeah,
a defensive masterpiece was put on display on Saturday by Tennessee. Yeah. All right, how does Tennessee respond? This is massive. Massive. You need an answer. You got to have one. It's 16-6. You're losing the crowd. Something's got to give. Tennessee starts at the 25-yard line. Derrick Henry goes left into Tennessee 34 for 9 yards. So Derrick Henry's rattling off a 9-yard run. That's a good sign. Derrick Henry for another 3-yard run. Derrick Henry for another 9-yard run. Okay, things are starting to heat up. Tennessee puts in D'Onta Foreman. This is the first time, I think, that we are seeing D'Onta Foreman in this game, who, if you don't know who he was pretty much the number 1 running back once Derrick Henry went down, and he had a really good half season, I think. And he routed off some good runs, and he was a good running back and showed everybody that this team is not just comprised of Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
That when Derrick Henry goes down, this team can still be good and still earn a 1 seed.
Mm-hmm.
To the people that try to tell me that Tennessee was not as good as they were without Derrick Henry, that is a bold-faced lie.
Mm-hmm.
We earned the 1 seed. We did what we had to do. We put new people in. We used 91 players. That's an NFL record, and we still got the 1 seed. So I will not hear any of your slander. Tennessee puts in Deontay Foreman, and he rattles off a 45-yard run all the way down to the Cincinnati 9. And that place is ballistic, man. It's all the energy. I can feel it. I can feel it through the TV, man. We're inside the 10. Now's the time we score a touchdown. We take the momentum back. Defense has been playing lights out. We score here. We're down 3. Defense will do their thing, get us the ball back. We're in a great position. And here is where I criticize the coaching, specifically the play calling. You just routed off a 45-yard run, and you just had 3 other running plays. You've ran the ball 4 times on this drive, and you've gotten to inside the 10-yard line.
Yep.
Nowhere in my mind is it telling me throw the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Nowhere. Even before the play happened. I put it on Twitter. Before the play happened, I said, and you can ask, I watched this game with Joseph Chaney. You can ask him. I said there should be no passes thrown on this drive. We have just ran the ball collectively for over 60 yards to get into the position we're in now. We're inside the 10-yard line. And what does our offensive genius, Todd Downing, draw up? He draw up a freaking bubble screen that they've tried to do for years now, and it never freaking worked. It'll work when you've got Jamar Chase on the other side, but who's Tennessee trying to throw it to? Chester Rodgers? Are you kidding me?
With
glorified special teamer?
Yeah, with Kendall Hinton and Eli Apple, 2 of the best corners in the league, or 2 of the top corners in the league.
Right. And then Mike Hilton, if you watch the play, we have Julio over there to block, and Chester Rodgers just going to turn around and catch the screen pass and hopefully, make a move.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see Mike Hilton come down the line like he's going to blitz, and that's exactly what he does. Ryan Tannehill takes the snap. They block down, and Swaim comes across to catch the other man, which if Mike Hilton is not there, I think at worst you get a no gainer.
Yeah.
And then Todd Downing gets to be like, why did I run that? All right, Derek, let's go.
Yeah.
But Mike Hilton does make an absolutely remarkable play.
Same play.
Bats the ball up in the air, catches it, interception. Tannehill's second one of the day. This one is tough to me because is it Tannehill's fault? I mean, yes, he threw the ball, but when you run that
play, it's just a heck of a play.
It is a heck of a play by Mike Hilton. So the first interception, Tannehill's fault. You idiot. What are you doing? The second interception with Mike Hilton making that fantastic play. It is a fantastic play by Hilton. Tannehill's just getting the ball and immediately just going right to it because that's what the play calls for. This was on Todd Downing. That's ridiculous. Why in God's green earth would you run a pass play? Why would you not run the ball? I could yell my voice box out about this BS, but we throw an interception. Now, Eli Apple did taunt Ryan Tannehill afterwards, and they got a 15-yard penalty. Okay, big whoop. Bengals have the ball. They punt. They go 3 plays. They punt. They do nothing with it. Nothing with it. Tennessee. So, in hindsight, we are in the same spot now. Obviously, momentum, we got to gain it back, but we're in the same spot. Nothing happened because of that interception. That did not affect us.
Mm-hmm.
If you score a touchdown. Tennessee drives it down. It's another steady dose of Henry. Get a 40-yard pass to A.J. Brown. Boy's finding his way open. This Bengals secondary it's got to be it's just the weakest part of their defense.
Yeah.
And we have not exposed it so far. But A.J. Brown's getting open. He's got 2 40-yard gainers on the day. And we end up getting stopped on 3rd down again. And Randy Bullock kicks a 34-yard field goal. We are down a touchdown. Okay. At this point, you have to have a takeaway. Something's got to give. You have to have some kind of takeaway, some kind of interception, fumble, whatever it may be, a turnover on downs. However it happens, you got to make something happen. And the first play, what is the defense does that. Joe Burrow throws a little out route to his running back, and it bounces right off P. Ryan's hands. That's completely on P. Ryan. It's not Joe Burrow's fault at all. P. Ryan, with his bricks for hands, just bats it up in the air, and Amani Hooker makes a fantastic play to get this interception. Albeit a controversial one. It's probably, I'm sure if Tennessee would have won the game, it would have been talked about a lot more. But Amani Hooker just makes a fantastic play. I mean, and you can argue both sides. Like you look at the replay, the ball obviously does touch some grass.
It makes some contact with grass for sure.
Right.
But I think what they were saying, what Ian Eagle was saying, was he had enough control of it that it didn't matter as much. And I think, it's just a heck of a play by him. And I think that's one of those, of course they stood because they couldn't overturn it because they didn't have enough evidence to overturn it.
Right.
And I just think it was just great play, just great awareness to be able to get that ball.
The one thing that I take away from it is how strong is Amani Hooker's hands.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he picked this fresh off the ground and was able to, at least fool the replay enough to show that he had control before it hit the ground. And great play. Place is nuts. Absolutely nuts. All right. 16-9. We're still here in the third quarter. No, we're not. I can't remember. We're in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And Tennessee runs two plays. They run Derrick Henry off the right tackle. He loses a yard. Okay. Get a penalty on Ben Jones for a false start. Back us up another 5 yards. Ryan Tannehill
Dime.
might have thrown the best ball that he threw all year.
Dime.
Absolute dime to A.J. Brown in the front corner of the end zone in double coverage.
Yeah.
A.J. Brown makes a spectacular, marvelous one-handed grab.
Just drop in the bucket. It's the easiest one-hand catch I think I've ever seen in my life because Tannehill put it right on a dime to A.J. Brown.
And A.J. Brown catches it. And watching it on TV, I didn't know what happened.
I didn't either. I thought I was like, oh, he's out of bounds. And then
I didn't even think he caught it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, Ian Eagle freaks out. The stadium goes wild. A.J. Brown's got the balls in his hand. I'm going nuts, going out on the front porch at Joe's house, yelling obscenities to the neighborhood about how bad of a man A.J. Brown is. I'm here. Well, we're here. Tennessee, we're back in it. It's 16-16. Place is nuts. That's got to be the loudest that place has been in 22 years. No doubt. A.J. Brown, what a freaking play. Bengals get the ball back. They punt. They punt it away. Tennessee, this is your chance. Tied at 16. Getting down in the fourth quarter, probably 9 minutes left. No, 10, 11 minutes when they get the ball back.
Yeah.
Dante Foreman, steady diet. 9 yards for him. Foreman up the middle again for 10 yards. That's 2 runs, 19 yards. Tannehill throws deep to A.J. Brown for 20 yards. Tannehill passes to Julio Jones, 6 yards, gets Julio again for 3 yards. Now it's 3rd and 1. 3rd and 1, and you were you're right there in no man's land, probably like the Cincinnati 40.
Right.
Or, something like that. No, excuse me, Cincinnati 35. Don't want to kick a field goal. Randy Bullock has been amazing this year, but I'm so out on field goals. Like, I just don't think any of them are going in. Obviously, in this situation, it's a long one. I don't want to kick a field goal. I want to go for it. I'll go for the throat right now. Anyway, it's 3rd and 1. We haven't even got to that point yet. 3rd and 1. Tennessee draws up their old special ace in the hole play. I've talked about this play for years. The read option. The read option in Tennessee, I swear to God, if you go look at the stats, if you could pull up every single read option that Tennessee has ran in the past 3 years since Ryan Tannehill took over at quarterback, it has a 93.7 or higher success rate. I've never seen it not work.
I literally called it when they got ready to line up. I'm like, they're going to go read option right here.
Yeah. I've never seen it not work. And this play it's another Tannehill mistake. It's 3rd and 1. Most of the times when it really works and he breaks it off, Tannehill keeps the ball like he did against Green Bay last year in Lambeau and routed off a 60-yard touchdown run. Like, this play works.
Yeah.
But got to make the read. Tannehill did not make the read in this 3rd and 1 situation. That now, in Tannehill's defense, there was a linebacker waiting on Derrick Henry.
Mm-hmm.
But I take my chances better with Derrick Henry getting 1 yard and running into somebody than I do Ryan Tannehill doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He doesn't give it to Henry. He gets stopped short. Okay. Fine. It didn't work. Now, what you can't do in this situation, everybody watching this game knows what's going to happen here.
Mm-hmm.
Every single person knows what's going to happen here. Derrick Henry is going to get it right up the middle. Is he going to get it? I don't know, but everybody knows it's going to happen.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what Tennessee does. And you can see where the Bengals, I mean, they obviously stacked the box. They had one too many guys in there. Derrick Henry had to hesitate because the Bengals got such a good push on the offensive line. Like it didn't work out. Tennessee didn't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Wasted opportunity. Obviously, hindsight, you would have liked to run Derrick Henry on 3rd down and try to get that yard, which is fine. I mean, Todd Downing could have called that, but I respect the read option call.
Yeah.
It always works. Tannehill missed the read. Obviously, Tannehill didn't have a good game. I think everybody knows that. But in hindsight, if you'd have ran Derrick Henry on 3rd and 1 and you didn't get it, you can line up and you can line up in the shotgun and you could probably think, okay, Derrick Henry's going to get it again. Then you could hit him with the read option. And Tannehill could keep it and he probably gets it. But who knows? Who knows? No, nobody's going to know because that's not how it worked out. Tennessee turns it over on downs. The Bengals go 6 plays. They get 5 yards and they punt. All right.
Joe Burrow got sacked twice on that drive too.
Yes.
Especially when they had just crossed into Tennessee territory.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Simmons sacked him again, and that knocked them with no chance at a field goal for sure.
Defense playing championship level football.
Mm-hmm.
9 sacks, 9 of them wasted. Tennessee gets the ball. 2 minutes, 43 seconds left. We run Derrick Henry on the right end for 3 yards, 2-minute warning. Tannehill finds Julio Jones for 16 yards. Trey Hendrickson gets injured on the play, so he's not going to be coming after Tannehill on the next play. You know what? Hey, okay.
Yep.
Derrick Henry, left tackle, Tennessee, 35, no gain.
What I'll say, because he had tackle here, DJ Reader, former Clemson player, had a heck of a game for the Bengals. And he's been kind of quiet all year. This is a heck of a game for him this week.
He absolutely did. Tannehill, check down to Dontrell Hilliard, 5 yards. 3rd and 5 at the Tennessee 40. There is one thing that I still don't understand. Tennessee had 2 timeouts in the bag. And this drive started with 2 minutes and 43 seconds left. And here we are, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're on the 5th play of this drive, and there's 20 seconds left in the game.
I feel like they were playing for overtime. That's what I felt like.
I don't really know. Like based on the press conferences, everything that I've heard, like Mike Vrabel fully believed that, they were going to drive down there and kick a field goal with Randy Bullock, which is fine. But I was watching the game, and you can ask Joe, like I was the sense of urgency. Like I didn't feel like there was enough urgency going on. Yeah. I'm like, God dang, we've got 2 timeouts in the bag. We can use one of them and we can save the other one for when we want to kick the field goal. Like, I mean, I get it. We don't want to give the Bengals time. I don't either. I mean, so I understand what we're trying to do, but we're just letting it go and go and go. Finally, 3rd and 5. They run a play. One, Julio Jones is not on the field.
Yeah, that was also interesting.
Which is baffling.
Yeah.
So you're strutting out a receiving core of A.J. Brown, who's been hot, been great. Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, who, in his defense, has been good this year for the role that he's had to absorb and, be the number 1 guy on some Sundays when Tennessee was hurt. And Chester Rodgers. This ball has to go to your playmaker.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. Nick Westbrook-Ikhine has been fine. He's been great this year, even in times. And I want to see him in Tennessee because I do like him as a wide receiver 3. I think he can help Tennessee. This ball cannot go to him. This ball has to go to A.J. Brown and A.J. Brown only when you got these guys on the field. I don't care if you force it into A.J. Brown. you have to draw up something for him.
All right.
Tannehill goes, fuddles around, creates space, tries to force one into Nick Westbrook-Akina. It gets tipped up. It's intercepted by the Bengals. Couple things. Somebody told me, and I just rewatched this play today.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but just once live. And I rewatched it today. Somebody told me that they thought that it was DPI on the Bengals. They thought it was defensive pass interference. And after I go back and look at it, he does have his arm around him, but I'm not saying it should have been. And I'm not going to say that because I'm not making excuses for this, because the main reason is the ball should have never been thrown there in the first place. So no excuses here. The worst thing about this, there's a freeze frame. As Tannehill is about to throw that ball to Nick Westbrook-Akina that gets tipped up and intercepted, Tannehill has Anthony Ferkser on the check down that we have run on multiple third downs, and we've gone 1 of 7 on third downs. Multiple checkdowns. The one time the check down is there and ready and is going to work and get Tennessee a first down, he misses it. And he forces it into Nick Westbrook-Akina. He gets tipped up and it's intercepted by the Bengals. Anthony Ferkser was wide open. He would have gotten the first down by 1.5 yards or 2. And Tennessee could have, finished this drive out, ran another play, gotten a field goal range, kicked the field goal, and we could be having a different conversation right now. But that's just not how it ended up. Tannehill forces it. So dumb. It's on Tannehill. Whether or not it's really defensive pass interference or not, it's on Tannehill. There's no reason he should have thrown that ball. I would have been much more okay if you forced it to A.J. Brown and it was picked off. I don't care. It's all that was completely on Tannehill. Bengals get it. They throw on the very first play of this drive. Jamar Chase, 19 yards. They get into field goal range at the Tennessee 34. They run Mixon for 2 yards. Joe Burrow puts the ball where Evan McPherson wants it. Evan McPherson comes out there, his rookie self, and he absolutely drills it. And that's all she wrote. So Tennessee takes the L 19-6 in the divisional round of the playoffs. Sad, hurt, sucks so bad. I'll read some stats. My computer will cooperate. Sorry. Ryan Tannehill finished today 15 of 24 for 220 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. I'd say 2.5 interceptions are his fault, if that makes sense. Joe Burrow finished 28 of 37, 348 yards, did have a very good day through the air, but didn't throw any touchdowns, and had 1 interception. Joe Mixon only had 54 yards rushing. He did have the lone Bengal touchdown. Derrick Henry had 20 carries for 62 yards. Obviously, you would like to see a better showing from Derrick Henry, but he is first came back from injury. So, I'm not going to say any slander about Derrick Henry. We all know what he's capable of. Dante Foreman, 4 carries, 66 yards. I would have liked to see more of him, obviously. And his freaking 30-something yard run that put us at the 9-yard line was wasted by a great play by Mike Hilton. So A.J. Brown, 5 receptions, 142 yards, 1 touchdown. This boy is a freaking playmaker. Pay him whatever he wants. I never want him to leave Tennessee. Jamar Chase had 5 receptions, 109 yards. T. Higgins had 7 catches for 96 yards. And Uzama had 7 catches for 71 yards. Julio also had 6 catches for 62 yards. And really, that's it. Nick Westbrook-Akina didn't have a catch. Ferkser didn't have a catch. Blasingame had a drop that would have been a first down. Rodgers only had 1 catch, and Dontrell Hilliard caught 3 checkdowns on third downs for no first downs. Well, except 1. Yeah, man, this sucks. It's so bad. Tennessee blew it. They absolutely choked it, and all of your hate and your slander is warranted. Obviously, the big question going into this, people like to talk about were the Titans the worst 1 seed that we've seen in a long time. My answer is always going to be no, because obviously this team earned everything that they got this year. They used 91 freaking players, the most ever in the NFL season. And they came into the playoffs fully healthy, and they choked it away. They didn't help themselves in the calls of, trying to say that they're not the worst one seed of all time. I obviously get that. And your slander is warranted, and I'll allow it. I don't care. What more can I say? We lost. Obviously, I don't think that, and I will fight for this team till the day that I die. But some other stats to throw at you. I mean, Tennessee was 1 of 8 on third down. You turn the ball over 3 times, you're not going to win. You are not going to win when you do that, especially when you throw a pick on the very first play of the game and you squander your momentum after a 30-something yard run to get you inside the 10. You immediately throw a pick, just takes it right out from under you, and then you do the same thing. We've got a couple chances on 2 different drives, and we turn it over on downs, and then we come back on the last drive that could have ended the game, and we force a ball into Nick Westbrook-Akina that's tipped up and it's intercepted, and then Joe Burrow throws the 19-yard pass, gets him into field goal range, and it's over like that. So quick. Such a change in emotions. Like, this team just messes with my heart. It's ridiculous. And it's sick. It's so sickening. I was so sick after the game just because, like, this is the first time, like, Tennessee's obviously had heartbreak over the years, and they've been a poverty franchise. Like, I get that. Obviously, they started out 99, 2000, 2001 to 2002, 2003. Had really good teams, had an MVP in Steve McNair, had the 1 seed, made a Super Bowl. Great things were happening. That team dissolved. They faded a little bit, came back, got to a number 1 overall seed again in 2008, led by Kerry Collins and also Chris Johnson. And then they faded for years. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know what the floor is. I know what the basement is. And then this team starts to win, and things are doing good. 2019 was a dream season. I mean, you come into the playoffs at 9-7. Ryan Tannehill takes over halfway through the year, does amazing, plays the best football of his career, earns his 4-year payday. You can't change my mind on that. He absolutely earned it. And they go and they get all the way to the AFC Championship game, and they blow it against the Chiefs just like everybody else did that year. And, that's just the start. You come out last year, you have a great season, 11-5. Tannehill played really well. All your weapons, Derrick Henry, 2,000-yard rusher, go to the first round of playoffs, disappointment. This year, come out even better, 12-5. Use 91 freaking players. You overcome so much adversity all year. You show that you're never truly out of a fight, even though obviously we had some bad losses through there.
Right.
I think a lot of teams do. You come into the playoffs with all this momentum. You got the 1 seed. You earned it. People are doubting you, and it never stops. And Tennessee thrives off that. The defense thrived off that. That defense played Super Bowl caliber football. That defense deserved a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. And that's why this is going to hurt so bad, because it's not like Tennessee's offense was bad. When you look at the yards per play, Tennessee had the 2nd most yards per play of any team in the divisional round. It's not like the offense were bad. It just goes to show you how backbreaking turnovers can be. And if you want to count the turnover on downs, we had 4. And how it's killed Tennessee all year. Look at all the losses. In the games where Tennessee turns the ball over 3 times, they look like crap. But when Tennessee takes care of the ball, and they can control time of possession and do their thing, if they just don't turn the ball over, Tennessee is a phenomenal football team. Mm-hmm. Phenomenal football team. And it just sucks. It all comes to an end. You got so much hope, and for a franchise that still will never get any respect until we actually go to the Super Bowl and we do the dang thing. If that ever happens, this team's never going to get any respect. They're never going to be talked about. And now you can't even gripe about that anymore. If we come out next year and nobody's talking about the Titans, what am I going to say? Oh, we went 12-5. We were the 1 seed last year. Yeah, we lost to the Bengals in the divisional round. We can't say that. Right. You can't do anything with that. So I just got to keep my mouth shut, and I've accepted the fact, like, this team's never going to get any respect until they do it. And I so long for them to win a Super Bowl. I cannot freaking wait till the day it happens, because I truly believe that it will happen. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen at some point.
Right.
And I would like to make a prediction that under the leadership of Mike Vrabel and with John Robinson as our GM, this team's not going anywhere. I don't give a crap what anybody says. This team is under what could go down as the best coach in Titans history. Now, there's not a lot of competition. It's just Jeff Fisher and some other guys that suck, but that Mike Vrabel very easily can go down as the best coach in Tennessee Titans history. He was the coach of the year this year. John Robinson has completely flipped this franchise from the absolute basement gutter 2-14, 3-13, and has not had a losing season since. And this team gets no respect. I've accepted it. That's fine. As far as a couple things that Tennessee needs to address now that the season is over, and I do apologize, I am talking long, Richard, but a couple things that need to happen at the end of the season is obviously free agents. This team, if this team gets another chance, I mean, I know they'd love to get another chance. I mean, I think this team can be right in the same position next year, possibly getting a 1 seed. You never know. I mean, this team was special. This team was really good. Obviously, playoff letdown. The biggest question coming out of all this is Ryan Tannehill the guy? And here's your straightforward answer from me. It doesn't matter whether or not you think he's the guy or not. He's not going anywhere. Look at his contract.
Yeah.
It's not, we can't just offload him.
Yeah.
He already restructured his contract to bring Julio in this year. And now he's going from getting paid. He's on a 4-year, $118 million deal.
Mm-hmm.
So each year he'd be getting paid like $29 million. Yeah. They restructured it this year to pay him like less than $20 million. Next year he's owed like $37 million. Yeah. You cannot let him go. You can't cut him. Yeah. As much as people want that, which I think is so stupid that people want that. I completely understand that he is the main cog and the main reason that we lost on Sunday. I completely acknowledge that, and I understand that. That does not take away from what we've seen him and what I know that he's capable of doing, what he did in 2019 coming in, what he did last year. And now this year he did have a little bit down of a year. Everybody was hurt. I give him a little bit of a pass. Sorry that I'm a little bit of an optimist. Ryan Tannehill is going to lead this team, but it could be under the direction of a new offensive coordinator. I think that is something that could be addressed. I don't know if Todd Downing's the guy. He had a lot of questionable stuff this year. Obviously, the play call there at the inside the 10-yard line against the Bengals to throw it is so stupid to me. I don't understand it. The Titans miss Arthur Smith so bad, and I didn't realize that it was going to be this drastic. But Arthur Smith going to head coach the Falcons was a blow that, hit a lot harder than I thought it was going to, because he knew this offense. He devised a great offensive scheme for the past couple of years for Tennessee and took that offense to unprecedented heights last year with Derrick Henry running for 2,000 yards, Ryan Tannehill throwing for almost 4,000 yards, and having 2 1,000-yard receivers. I mean, what?
Yeah.
And now you come this year and you got offensive genius Todd Downing. I just don't know if it's I don't know if it's the thing. I don't know what Vrabel and them are going to do. We'll see. As far as some free agents, Harold Landry had a career year, 12.5 sacks in the regular season, added a couple sacks, obviously, on Saturday against the Bengals. He is due for a contract, and his contract price just kept rising and rising and rising as this season went on. Tennessee could obviously franchise tag him. I think it would be like an $18 million hit for next year. So if that's going to fit in, that's fine. Kevin Byard has already come out and said that he would be willing to restructure his contract in order to keep Harold Landry. And that's what I like to hear. Yeah. You can't break up this defensive line. Jeffrey Simmons is obviously coming up on a contract year next year. He's going to end up being the highest paid defensive tackle in football. It's 100%. He deserves every bit of the money he's going to get. He's amazing. As long as Aaron Donald's playing, him and Aaron Donald are going to be right there at the top. But if Aaron Donald was not here, Jeffrey Simmons is the best defensive tackle in football. You can't change my mind.
Right.
Danico Autry, been a fantastic ad. He's on a couple-year deal. He'll stay around. Great. And then also Bud Dupree. Obviously, we signed him to an $85 million contract. He's not going anywhere. You can't break this defense up. We got linebacker depth. The only one, Rashaan Evans, is a free agent. I would not be surprised with now Tennessee having Jayon Brown under contract, who played okay this year. David Long, who obviously we've talked about a lot this year, still under contract for next year. He's going to be around. And also Zach Cunningham, who we got from the Texans, played a ton, was great. I wouldn't be surprised to see Rashaan Evans leave. So he'll probably be gone. As far as the secondary goes, obviously your corners are young. Farley, our first-round draft pick, towards ACL, so hopefully he comes back next year. Fulton, a second-year guy at LSU, he's going to be around. Byard locked up on one of the highest-paying contracts of all time. And Amani Hooker coming up on a deal for him. He's ascended to a fantastic safety. He'll be in the final year of his rookie deal. The defense is going to be here to stay. Shane Bowen did an immaculate job this year, taking them from one of the worst defenses last year. They made some necessary changes, got rid of some guys who it was tough to see them go. Vaccaro, Butler, all them boys. Brought in the people that they needed to bring in, even Janoris Jenkins, even him. And he did great. Put out a fantastic defense this year. As far as the offense, obviously Tannehill's here, Derrick Henry's here. Offensive line is here with the exception of Ben Jones is a free agent. You have to re-sign him. There's no way you can't. I just feel like there's no way you can't. Ben Jones has been with this team. You can't break him up. Obviously, you're not going to be able to re-sign everybody. I know that. There's different things that go into it. But him, A.J. Brown, there was a report coming out that Tennessee is ready to make him the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL. Is he the best receiver in the NFL? No, because look at Cooper Kupp. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
But in my eye, A.J. Brown, pay him whatever he wants. I don't care. He is so vital to this team, and he has had so many great moments over the past couple of years. Obviously, he was the key to this game on Saturday that kept us in it with the one-handed catch and the 240-yard gainers. Like he's special. He's coming up on a contract year. Julio's still got a couple more years on his deal. Julio's going to be around, whether or not he's obviously, I think he is past his prime, but I would much rather have Julio as a wide receiver too than a lot of other guys. So, yeah, and we'll see just about the rest of them. The wide receiver threes, I think Nick Westbrook-Ikhine will still be around and blah, blah, blah. But Tennessee's got a big offseason. They got some changes they need to make. They need to mull over whether or not they're going to keep the offensive coordinator. And their biggest thing is they got to re-sign Harold Landry. You cannot break up that defensive line. That defensive line is Super Bowl caliber. Tennessee obviously wants to make it there. Kevin Byard came out after the game and said that, they thought they had a good enough defense to win a Super Bowl, and he thought this was going to be our year. Hell, I did too. And I thought that defense was absolutely amazing. You can't break them up. One more thing about the defense, 9 sacks. Obviously, Jeffrey Simmons had 3 of them. He's an absolute beast. You can't break them up. Tennessee's got a long offseason, a lot of time to think about it. It hurts. It's going to hurt for a while. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. And that's a wrap on Titans football. And I'm sad.
Same. So, yeah. I think, Mike Vrabel, I still think he's your coach of the year because 91 players and got him the 1 seed. Didn't have his best player for half the season. And still got the 1 seed. That's a great year. Like you said, Titans earned it. Titans, didn't just get here because of the Ryan Henry. Again, they couldn't hand it off to Henry for half the season.
Right.
And they came down the stretch and claimed the 1 seed. Beat some good teams during that stretch too.
Yeah.
And, in Titans, people are going to start saying, oh, they're in a bad situation because of Ryan Tannehill. Listen, the rest of that division is in a whole lot worse. It's in a whole lot worse. Jags got Trevor Lawrence, but that's a year gone on his development. Yeah. Texans are just woof, even though Davis Mills has somehow become a very good bright spot for them.
Yeah.
And then Colts, Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz ain't going to get you there. I don't think Carson Wentz is the guy for sure. So, if you're looking at that, Titans are set up to at least be the best in their division. I think they're not going to go anywhere for a while. Like you said, they keep that defense. That defense was so good this year. You keep that defense around. 9 sacks. I mean, against any NFL team. I know the Bengals' offensive line is not great, but still, against any NFL team to get 9 sacks, it's hard to do. It is hard to do that. But yeah, you just, like you said, you can't turn the ball over 3 times and expect to win, especially in the playoffs, and especially against one of the best young quarterbacks in the NFL with 2 of the best, with the rookie of the year, and with another good wide receiver core, and you just can't expect that to happen. So yeah, Titans shot themselves in the foot on this one for sure, and it's just a shame because they were right there and had a great chance, I think, against really anybody in the AFC and the NFC that was left entering this weekend, but. That's why you gotta play the football games. That's why you can't just walk in, get the 1 seed, and go, oh well, we got a free trip to the championship game because we had a bye. No, it doesn't matter. You gotta play the games, and that's what happens.
Yep.
And speaking of playing the games, so move on. We'll continue the AFC. Move on to Sunday night. At this point, the Bengals are in the AFC Championship. So me as a Bills fan, I'm seeing those 9 sacks, those 9 juicy sacks, and think about this Bills defense. And I'm like, oh, man, the path's there. The path is there.
Mm-hmm.
But in your way, all right, Kansas City Chiefs, who this Bills beat the Chiefs in week 5 on the road. Pretty good win. They forced 3 turnovers, did it without Matt Milano, and looked great. These aren't the same Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs started 4-4. They finished the season 8-1.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good Chiefs team. This is a way different Chiefs team. This is a way better Chiefs team. We're that one loss away from claiming the 1 seed for their own. And Bills, of course, without Trey White for most of the end of the season. But the Bills' offense starting to get going again. They just put the beat down on the Patriots. Bills at the Chiefs. Everybody said this would be the game of the weekend, and it was. With all the great games this weekend.
Yeah.
This was your game of the weekend. Starts off with a bang. Bills get the ball first. 13-play, 71-yard drive that ends with a Devin Singletary run on 4th and goal at the 1. And that was a 4th and 2 earlier in the drive at the 50. So the Bills are like, no, we are not kicking field goals. We're not punting it unless we have to. We're going to make ourselves known. We're going to get this done. And, of course, the Chiefs answered back a big-time run by Patrick Mahomes. Big-time plays on 3rd down for Patrick Mahomes. And eventually has a rushing touchdown for Patrick Mahomes. And that ties it up. And they're like, here you go. This is the game you expected. Bills come out, go 9 plays, and punt it, which there were some drop passes. And then, of course, there was a sack by Melvin Ingram, who played a heck of a game. Melvin Ingram played an insane football game for the Chiefs in this one. Gets a big sack, knocks him out of field goal range, and the Bills hit the punt. And that's the first time, I believe it was in 12 drives that the Bills had the punt going back to the Jets game to end the season, which was insane. And, of course, he gets a great punt down at the 1. Chiefs can't do anything. So you're thinking, okay, there's a chance. Booming punt by the Chiefs. And the Bills decided to run the ball with Devin Singletary 3 plays in a row. Listen, Motor had been doing work earlier in this game. But I feel like at that point, you should have realized the ball needs to be in Josh Allen's hands at all times. Whether that's running, like a read option or a triple option, or throwing it, gotta have the ball because they were at the 43. And Devin Singletary got a good run. First play of the drive, he got 70-yard runs to the 50. Right there, I think where you need to go is over the top. Because at this point, Tyrann Mathieu's been knocked out of the game with concussion. And they haven't gone to attack that side yet. But at that point, you should have thought about, hey, let's just throw one up. But nope, they do another run, only gets 1 yard. And then they do a little swing, a little pitch out. Singletary sack, gets dropped for the -2 yards. So Bills got 3 out the punt. And then just so many times, they would have 3rd down and just missed tackles. There were a ton of missed tackles by this defense. Now, Ed Oliver got a great sack. That was looking like, okay, there you go. You're going to get a stop. But then on 3rd and goal, Byron Pringle catches a laser from Patrick Mahomes to get a touchdown. Chiefs go up 14-7. So you move on. Bills get the ball back. They get their own touchdown drive. 7-play, 75-yard drive. That starts off with Cole Beasley making a big play. And then Gabe Davis makes a good play. And then Josh Allen, big run. 2 big runs. Gets that first to the 18. Gabe Davis, 18-yard catch, touchdown, tied back up. Yeah, I remember the name Gabe Davis. That's his first touchdown of the day. Chiefs get the ball back. There's plenty of time now. Again, there's under a minute, 40 seconds left, and they got to go down the field. And that will never come back to bite the Bills at all in the butt in this game at all. Get down to 32, and Harrison Butker doinks it. Field goal's no good. It's 14-14 at halftime. I'm feeling pretty good. It's a tight game. There are a lot of emotions going, but this is what I expected. I'm thinking if the defense can just tighten up, there's a chance. Chiefs open up 13-play, 54-yard drive, take about 8 minutes off the clock, and include a 4th and 1 at the 40-yard line. Patrick Mahomes makes one of the craziest plays. He just does one of those stupid plays again that he always does, where he somehow doesn't get sacked versus Jerick McKinnon. He gets 20 yards first down. Third, and eventually they get stopped. They get stops because there's a holding penalty on Kansas City, and then finally they get a stop. Make Mahomes have to scramble. Get a stop. Harrison Butker makes this field goal. So it's 17-14. Bills come out, and they have an incomplete pass to Reggie Gilliam, or a pass to Reggie Gilliam for 7 yards. I'm like, okay, there we go. They're going to start passing again. No, they run the ball with Singletary for 1 yard, and they try run with Isaiah McKenzie for 1 yard, and that doesn't work, and they have to punt. Just frustrating play calling from the Bills at this point. Next drive, Chiefs 5-play, 61-yard drive, which includes it was kind of a lame duck punt. That includes a big run by Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and then McCole Hardman gets a 25-yard run, pounds it into the end zone. It is 23-14. The Bills have got to do something here. There's 2 minutes left in the third, and I'm having flashbacks to last year's AFC Championship game because it was the second and third quarter killed the Bills. And then Josh Allen, it's 1st and 10 is on 25. If you go back and look at the freeze frame on this play on the all-22, he has Dawson Knox wide open for about 25 yards. He could have thrown Stephon Diggs or Cole Beasley. They were pretty covered. That would have been a stupid pass. That's probably a pass Josh Allen tries to make rookie year. This guy with 2 safeties over Gabe Davis throws an absolute bomb and hits Gabe Davis in stride, 75 yards, touchdown. There is no reason he should have thrown that ball. He should have thrown it to Dawson Knox. Got you 25 yards, keep going this. Nope. Right over the top of 2 safeties and Gabriel Davis in stride. It is insane because Josh Allen, when he got drafted, everybody was like, this is the dumbest pick. It's going to be the worst quarterback ever. All the Bills are stupid. And he had his struggles. But he developed so quick. And now on the national stage just does something like that. It's insane. And he hits Gabe Davis, another person that a lot of people were like, oh, well, he was fine at UCF, but this is probably not a receiver that you really want. The Bills have done it with an island of misfit toys and Stephon Diggs. That's their team. That's their offense. And have made it work. And it worked right there. Bills defense comes out and gets a stop. Looking great. And the Bills go out 3 and out because they get a deep pass to Gabe Davis because of their own 8-yard line. Deep pass, and Dawson Knox drops a wide open pass. Wide open pass. Then another incomplete pass to Gabe Davis, and then Josh Allen takes a sack. Just not great awareness by Josh Allen, I'll admit on that one. And just struggles by Dawson Knox. Chiefs get the ball back after a good punt return, because guess what? They have Tyreek Hill returning punts now. And if it wasn't for Stephen Hawk, or Matt Hawk, excuse me, this would have been a touchdown. So Matt Hawk makes a heck of a tackle on Tyreek Hill. Chiefs are in the red zone. They get stopped. Go 3 and out. They try that direct snap to Blake Bell, and Blake Bell gets snuffed out with Dane Jackson. And Dane Jackson, who had struggled before, makes a heck of a play because if the Chiefs get 7 there, I'm thinking this game is probably over. Harrison Butker gets a field goal. So at this point, there's 8 minutes and 55 seconds left. The Bills go 17 plays, 75 yards in 7 minutes, in which they have to convert so many third downs. They convert a 4th and 4 at the 30. Josh Allen scrambles up 6 yards. And then Josh Allen on 4th and 13. Gabe Davis makes one of the greatest head fakes I've ever seen. That it looks like pass interference from up top, but it's not. He just head fakes his defender. Catches the ball, 27 yards, touchdown. Now you got to go for 2. You're up by 1. Josh Allen stays alive, scrambles around. I don't know how he does this. Finds Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs, who's been quiet because they have been locked in on Diggs the entire game. Diggs back in the end zone, 2 toe tap. 2-point conversion is good. There's a minute 54 left. This is when this game is already instant classic. This is when this game became legendary. Patrick Mahomes, plenty of time left. It gets down to about a minute and 16. They're at their own 36. Patrick Mahomes throws across the field to Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill takes 1 turn and he is gone. Throws up the peace signs to a player that is in front of him and has a great angle on him. And still outraces him. That is the fastest man in the NFL. Insane. Insane.
To elaborate on that, I'll butt in real quick.
Mm-hmm.
That's dirty.
Yeah.
In the best way possible.
Yeah,
I don't care who you root
disgusting.
for. Like he turned a corner, he's so freaking fast and threw up the deuces to a guy. You made a great point with a great angle.
Great angle. Could have tackled him, and then he turned on the jets and passed right by him. That's the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen, but it's so good. I can't hate on it. Like in the moment, I'm screaming in my room. I had to stand up, by the way, in my room for the final 3rd and 4th quarter because I was sweating so much. By the way, this game was that intense. So there's a minute and 2 seconds left for Josh Allen and Bills. They get the ball. Josh Allen, deep ball and complete the Diggs. Then Gabe Davis again. Gets all the way to Kansas City 47. Timeout. Another pass to Gabe Davis. They go for a deep ball to Diggs. You got 32 seconds left. 2nd and 10, 35-yard line. Emmanuel Sanders. Throw the ball to Emmanuel Sanders, gets 16 yards. Would have been pass interference anyway, but guess what? Great play by Sanders. Gabe Davis again at the 19-yard line. There's 13 seconds left. Grabs the ball back of the end zone, wide open. Touchdown. That's 4 touchdowns for Gabe Davis. He had 5 the entire season. 4 touchdowns. There's 13 seconds left. You're only up by 3. That should, for any normal quarterback, you're thinking you've got a chance. But Patrick Mahomes is not a normal quarterback. Mahomes' first play, 19-yard pass to Tyreek Hill. Gets to the 44. There's a chance. Remember, Butker's one of the best kickers in the NFL. And then Bills go prevent defense for some reason with 8 seconds left. Travis Kelce sneaks out open, 25 yards, gets down to the 31 at Buffalo. Harrison Butker nails the 49-yard field goal. They go to OT. And everybody knows the OT rules for the NFL. You want to win the toss. Chiefs win the toss. Chiefs, another great drive. And Patrick Mahomes finds Travis Kelce in the back of the end zone. Touchdown. Game over. Bills lose. Do I think the Bills would have won if they would have had a chance? Absolutely. Of course I do. I think Josh Allen would have led a drive. But your defense cannot let Travis Kelce sneak by you and get set up for Harrison Butker a chip shot field goal, 49 yards. I know he missed one earlier. But a guy like that has been in that situation so long, he needs to be ready. Now, Trey White handled Tyreek Hill a lot week 5. If Trey White was out there, I don't know how well he would have done. Tyreek Hill probably, again, he shows up in big-time games too. Probably would have found peace signs as well. This is literally the most heartbreaking loss I've ever watched for the Buffalo Bills. My senior year at Gardner-Webb, we went 1-10, had a horrible loss to Charleston Southern. So I've seen a lot of heartbreaking losses. Before this, the Bills' first playoff game with Sean McDermott was against the Jacksonville Jaguars with that team with Blake Bortles and Jalen Ramsey and that entire defense that got to the AFC Championship. And the Bills had a chance to knock them out in the first round of the playoffs. And Tyrod Taylor gets hurt on the final drive, and Nathan Peterman has to come in. And I remember that drive to a T. He throws a 35-yard bomb. I don't know how he did it. And he had to give us that one sliver of hope before taking it all away. He gets sacked, intentional grounding, throws a pick, game over. I remember just sitting there staring at my TV like, that's how that game ended. This one on Sunday. And I put the video at the beginning of the podcast of my story in 3 parts. It's on my Instagram too, of my reactions to everything that happened. Once that little adrenaline, because there was still some adrenaline. Again, one of the best football games I've ever watched, regardless of the score. Once that finally wore down, I felt so empty. I just sat in my room and I didn't know what to do. Like, I have never felt that depressed after a Bills football game since then. Just heartbreaking. I mean, Harrison Phillips summed it up best. When he first came in press conference, he said, that effing sucks. And it did. Could the Bills have done a lot better? Absolutely. But, I mean, Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL right now, and you got to be perfect. And they weren't. 33 of 44, 378 yards, 3 touchdowns. Also 7 rushes, 69 yards, and a touchdown for Mahomes. And Josh Allen, again, it's crazy to think about Josh Allen. So good. 27 of 37, 329 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks, rushed for 68 yards, and that's the losing quarterback. Gabe Davis, 8 catches, 201 yards, 4 touchdowns. No receiver has ever had 4 touchdown catches in a playoff game. Think of how long there have been the NFL playoffs and how many great receivers. Jerry Rice never did that. Randy Moss never did that. All these great receivers have never done that. Even Tyreek Hill on the other side has never done that. And it was Gabriel Davis that did it. The game of his life. Doesn't matter. Those lose. Just absolutely heartbreaking. Again, all props to the Chiefs. They deserve that win. You know, I'm not going to say that the Chiefs are locked in. Like, this was people were like, oh, this was the Super Bowl. I'm not going to say that because I think there's a lot of good teams left for sure. I think the Bengals are a really good team. I think the teams left in the NFC, when we talked to them, were both really good too. But man, you don't think about the teams that lose these great games until you're the fan of that team.
Yeah.
And it hurts. It hurts a lot. And it's going to hurt a lot because, a lot of the older Bills fans, remember, they went to 4 straight Super Bowls and lost all 4 of them. Everybody talks about that. This is the new generation of that, I think. Because, again, I get it. You'd have to win one more game and then win the Super Bowl to be a champion. But still, you're that close again. And also, what makes it worse for me, 2nd year in a row. Last year was on my birthday. This year, the day before, I get to watch that. pain. Awful. Just absolute pain. But I will say this. If you would have told me I became a Bills fan, chose to be a Bills fan, over the Panthers, who had gotten Cam Newton, were on this high streak. At one point, they would play one of the greatest games of all time with a quarterback from Wyoming, a wide receiver from UCF, and a wide receiver from Maryland. People forget Stephon Diggs didn't go anywhere big. He went to Maryland.
Yeah.
And with Dawson Knox went to Ole Miss and all these misfit toys out there and would push the greatest quarterback in the league to his limit, I would have been shocked. I would have just been happy they got the playoffs. They did it. So it stings, but I think like the Titans, I don't think the Bills are going anywhere. Talking about their free agents. The biggest one is Levi Wallace. You can't let him walk because he has been so good having to fill in for Trey White. And he just comes up and hits people. The defensive line, there's Jerry Hughes, Harrison Phillips, and Mario Addison. It's going to hurt if you let Harrison Phillips walk. And I know Harrison Phillips is kind of just the plug the hole guy, but he still makes good plays. Mario Addison is the one guy I think you could probably let walk because you did get Boogie Basham. You did get Greg Rousseau. But he's another guy that's just so well liked, so well loved. It's going to be interesting. And then Isaiah McKenzie, another big one. He kind of became kind of the Swiss Army knife because Devin Singletary at one point was the only running back because Zach Moss was banged up and Matt Breida got banged up. So it was like, well, we got to use somebody back there. So they put Isaiah McKenzie out there. And he did fine. So interesting to see if they can get that restructured. Siren Neal is also going to be a free agent. That'll be interesting to find out. Emmanuel Sanders is going to be a free agent. He kind of fell off toward the end. He got banged up, got COVID too. But he came up clutch when he had to. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do to keep all these guys. And then, of course, you had Ryan Bates, who had to fill in early in the year as left guard. He did a solid job. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Also, free agent, Mitchell Trubisky is free agent. So I don't know what that means. I mean, something for somebody else for sure. So I think Mitchell Trubisky could probably try to find somewhere else that needs a quarterback that like ASAP, like a Houston Texans or somebody like that. But that'll be interesting to see. But yeah, interesting to see what they do to keep this defensive line together and the secondary. Of course, I think you got to keep Levi Wallace locked in. I know Trey White's got a crazy contract, but you got to keep Levi Wallace, I think. Because you got to figure out another thing, too. There have been every draft board I've seen has seen Darion Kendrick to the Bills. And that would be a huge pickup, too. So I think at that point, if you get that, maybe you let Siren Neal walk. Again, no one's going to hurt. But I think you got to keep Levi Wallace. But like I said, this one sucks. We told y'all this was going to be very sad if both our teams lost. Very sad just for this. But still a heck of a weekend of football and just a heck of a game. Again, props to the Chiefs and the Bengals. They deserve it. Yeah, just sucks. Just sucks. That's how the season ends for both these teams.
Yeah. If I'll say one thing about the Chiefs-Bills game, the probably the best thing that I saw this weekend, and it just came to light today, was have you seen it? Have you seen the Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, like what they did to, what Travis Kelce did on that play that got them into field goal range?
Yep.
It's unbelievable. It's just so crazy to me, and how and obviously they are so good. But it just goes to show you that, like, I mean, to be the best, like they have been, for a couple of years, and they've always been really good for the past 3-4 years. Like, you can't always just go by the book. You just got to do your thing.
No. And
it's so cool and so crazy to me that just like Travis Kelce, before that play happens, he's just like, "Hey, Patrick, if they do the same thing again, that seam's open in the middle," and you see Travis Kelce lining up, and you can hear it like they have the NFL film stuff, like when they do the mic'd up stuff. Yeah. The mic'd up episode of that is going to be amazing, especially if they have if they have the Bengals kicker mic'd up, Evan McPherson, if they have a mic on him because allegedly he said before the kick,
he called a
but
shot.
before he made the kick, he said, looks like we're going to the AFC Championship game. And that's another point that I forgot to make because I was, talking about 16,000 things, but confidence is key. And sometimes that's all you need. And the Bengals ooze confidence. But
absolutely.
Anyways,
just look at Joe Burrow at any press conference, man. That man has got so much confidence.
Right. So, but Travis Kelce's lining up on the line, and in Patrick Mahomes' cadence, he's like, "Do it, Kels, do it, Kels." And what does Travis Kelce does? He does it, and gets them then to field goal range. It was so crazy to me. You don't always have to go by the book. Yes.
Yeah. I also say two things too. One, Patrick Mahomes, you haven't seen the video. As soon as the game ends, he goes and hugs Travis Kelce, of course. He goes and finds Josh Allen, hugs him too.
Yeah.
That's big time too. Because Josh Allen looked like the most depressed person on that field because he didn't get a chance. And so as good as Patrick Mahomes, also big time. Josh Allen has a pediatric hospital type charity organization named after his grandma who died of cancer. And I think it deals with like pediatric cancer. And the Chiefs fans, because of 13 seconds left, have donated $13 today. And it's now up to over $14,000 to that charity. That's nice. So that's really nice. Really cool about the Chiefs fans. I just want to give a shout out for that. Bills fans are notable for doing that whenever their opponents. I know that Andy Dalton's charity got a lot of money when they had that pass and made the playoffs. I think when the Colts did something one year, they gave a bunch of money to Phillip Rivers. So they really do try to do that to the Bills. So good to see the Chiefs do that as well. It's the best trash talk, I think, in all sports is to give money to charity for that.
Right.
Because they did that for Trey White when he got hurt, too. He has a food thing down in Louisiana. They gave a bunch of money to him. So
them giving money to Andy Dalton's foundation was just so great. Just a big F you to the Ravens. That's a great SB Nation rewinder. If you haven't seen that, you need to go watch that. That's amazing.
Yeah, I remember watching that live and just going insane. And that's why I don't think you can cut Harrison Phillips, because Harrison Phillips just openly breaks down crying when he sees that happen, because that's the first time he ever been to the playoffs. And so that's why I don't think you can cut that man for sure in that one. But so interesting offseason for both these teams. Just a heartbreaking way to go out. But we'll move on to the other side, the NFC, which gave us two other classic games as well. Yeah, man. So this weekend, take our fanhood out of it. This was one of, if not the best weekend of football that we've seen in our lifetimes. You and me being 25, well, you're 26 now. Happy late birthday, old man. Thank you. I have my own insurance now. I hate that. This is awful. Yeah. And of course, my neck started hurting while recording this, and I'm like, oh God, death approaches. Your body's breaking down. You don't have much time left. Bill's lost. You gotta die now. Yeah, it's over. All right. But so Bengals Titans obviously ends on a game-winning field goal. So then we go to the other one seed. We have Green Bay hosting on a legit frozen tundra without the snow, hosting the San Francisco 49ers as they make the trek up to Lambeau in Green Bay. And this game, I felt like got kind of written off. Like people, kind of like the Packers were like a 5 or 6 point favorite, something like that. And like obviously Aaron Rodgers playing at home, it's literally feels like it's 0 degrees outside. You got the Bay Area boys coming up here, like they're not going to survive. Like I get that. But what a game this was. Packers start off with a bang. They come out on their opening drive and they score a touchdown, and they go up 7-0, 10 plays, 69 yards. Things are looking right. And then, boy, it just turns into a Big Ten football game, man. It's a punt, fumble, punt, interception into half. And then you come out in the second half, it's 7-0 Green Bay after one half. San Francisco goes 10 plays, 39 yards, gets a field goal out of it. So 7-3. And then we go punt, and then the Packers 14 plays, get a field goal. So now it's 10-3. San Francisco turns it over on downs. And here is where things get interesting. I'll say this on turnover downs. I started watching it. I kind of zoned out a little bit on this game, but I saw the score. I was like, okay, I'll keep watching. Yeah. When they got that turnover on downs, I literally was like, this game's over. Because I didn't think – I thought the Packers would be smart enough, would be well coached enough to finish this off. And they were not well coached in the one area that you forget about a lot of times. Right. And that would be them special teams. And they were historically bad on special teams this year. And it came back to bite them in the worst time.
as Green Bay punts from, what yard line were they on? They were on
They were
12.
deep. Yeah, because
They were on their
Rodgers
own
gets sacked.
12. Yeah, so lining up for their own 12. The punt's coming from like right at the goal line. And that punt gets blocked. The collective units of the Packers and the 49ers are all looking around like, oh, where's the ball at? And then it just happens to land, stops, 49ers pick it up, touchdown. We have a tie ball game. It's 10-10, late, 1 seed
out
on the verge
nowhere,
of getting knocked out.
It got tied. Like literally, it was like, oh, okay, this game's over. Packers pick up a couple first downs. They got Rodgers. You're thinking it's great. Oh, they got a punt. Well, that's fine. They can get it off. Yeah. Oh, and as soon as that ball went straight in the air, I was like, the 49ers are the only ones that know where this ball is.
Right.
And they found it, picked it up, touchdown. I was like, oh, my God.
So Green Bay gets the ball back, obviously, with 4 minutes left. This is ample time for Rodgers to do some Rodgers-esque things and go down there and either get a Mason Crosby field goal or punch it in the end zone. And they start at the 29-yard line, and there's a penalty that's an ineligible downfield pass that backs them up 5 yards. And they short to Devontae Adams, get 4 yards back, incomplete pass to Randall Cobb, incomplete pass over deep middle to Devontae Adams. And then they come out in the punt. You're good. And then they come out in the punt and they get a false start. More special teams blunders. Yeah. And then
this is after, by the way, earlier in the game, they had 2 big kickoff returns by the 49ers. And the one that set up the field goal in the third quarter. Too.
Right. So Bojorquez punts 57 yards to the San Francisco 20. That leaves the 49ers with 3 minutes and 20 seconds to drive down and get a game-winning field goal or score a game-winning touchdown. And they do exactly that, led by George Kittle going for 12 yards, Elijah Mitchell, 4-yard run, 2-minute warning. Garoppolo passes to Debo for 14 yards. And then Debo off the right end on a running play because he's a Swiss Army knife for 3 yards. They're down to the Green Bay 38. They take a timeout. Debo Samuel gets nothing. Both teams call a timeout. Come out 3rd and 7. Debo Samuel off the right end out of the shotgun. 1:03 left in the fourth quarter. 9 yards.
That first down.
Yep.
Because there was no way that play should have worked, and Debo just made it work somehow.
Yep. They run a couple more times. One time by Elijah Mitchell. One time by Kyle Juszczyk, fullback, stand up. And then they take their final timeout with 4 seconds left, and you bring in Robbie Gould, who has been clutch for the whole time that he has been in the NFL. And what does he do? He buries the Packers. 13-10, the final in this game. The Packers are out. The Titans are out. Both 1 seeds sitting on the couch. See ya. The 49ers move on. What a great game. Garoppolo did throw an interception. You know, he did his part in trying to ruin it, but
he was Garoppolo. That's all I can say about him.
But the Packers blew it worse. So there's your answer, Jimmy G.
The offensive line struggled on this one because Jimmy G got sacked 4 times. Aaron Rodgers got sacked 5 times. Like, this is a good 49ers defense. People forget about that.
Yeah.
Like, this defense for San Francisco is really good, and they are winning these games for them.
Right. But Garoppolo goes 11-19, 131 yards. No touchdowns, throws a pick. Elijah Mitchell, 53 yards on the ground. Debo, 39 yards on the ground. Juszczyk, 14 yards on the ground. Kittle had 4 receptions for 63 yards. Debo had 3 receptions for 44 yards. So obviously not an offensive touchdown scored for San Francisco. It didn't matter. Aaron Rodgers, 20 of 29, 225 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Aaron Jones only runs for 41 yards because I'm convinced that he's not good. But Aaron Jones had 9 receptions for 129 yards. So yes, he is good.
He's still trying to screw fantasy owners, but even there's no fantasy team left.
Right. Devontae Adams had 9 catches for 90 yards, and that's it. Only 2 other people had receptions, and that was Alan Lazard and M. Lewis. Mercedes Lewis. Mercedes, God bless.
He fumbled it too.
I forgot he was still alive. Yeah. So
no looking at Valley Scaling. Didn't have anything.
Right.
So that was interesting too.
Packers 8-0 at home. First home loss. Tough.
So what's funny about this is, like, there's some bad quarterbacks that won Super Bowl. Joe Namath probably the biggest one. He got that one good game. That was it. Trent Dilfer and Brad Johnson recently. Joe Flacco just talked about. Yeah. We're 1 game away from, Debo Samuel has a ring. George Kittle has a ring. Jimmy G. It's 1 game. It's 2 games away from a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah. Well, hell, it already could have happened. He almost didn't blow it against the Chiefs in 2019.
This could be a second Super Bowl trip in 3 years.
Right.
And what's funny too, Waffle, if that happens, if the 49ers somehow win this, you know who gets a ring? Josh Norman.
Oh, boo! God, I forgot he was on this team. I hate him
I forgot
so
too. He had one tackle against the Packers, and he could get a ring.
Yuck. God, I hope they get murdered this week. 49ers pull a stunner on the frozen tundra, 13-10, as they take down the one-seeded Packers. And oh boy, the Packers are in for an offseason. Let me tell you what, son.
Now, Rodgers has said that it's going to come down to what Devontae Adams does.
Right.
Because Adams is going to, they want it to be their last dance type deal. Well,
yeah.
Jordan and the Bulls did not lose in the first round of the playoffs. Or that first round of the playoffs.
And you know, they brought back people. They brought back Randall Cobb, one of the boys, to come get in on one final playoff run. And they had a lot of people come back. Zadarius Smith, Jari Alexander, all these guys coming back that were hurt. And it's just, God, it sucks that they got knocked out like that after such a bad performance. And then special teams, something that's bit them all year, like I said, bit them at the worst time.
Yep.
And that was their fate.
We're close to, this is the funniest thing I've seen. Broncos quarterback Aaron Rodgers, because the Broncos tried that trade. So, you know, the Broncos are going to go right after him again if they can. So, it'll be interesting to see what
Rodgers doesn't excite me at all.
I know it really doesn't, because the Broncos, ever since they lost Peyton, have not been to the playoffs since winning the Super Bowl with Peyton Manning. And I say with Peyton Manning very generously, because Peyton Manning was out there dying every week.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that, you know, Elway, and this has only happened one time. Only once have the Broncos gone after a high caliber quarterback, and that was Peyton Manning. And obviously it worked out. Yeah. Peyton Manning had one of the greatest offensive seasons of all time. After with his surgically repaired neck, and won a Super Bowl, played in two. So, you know, I feel like there's a stigma behind Elway. Like if anybody's going to go after a quarterback that's had proven success and is a first ballot Hall of Famer on the tail end of their career, it's going to be him.
Yeah.
So, you know, it makes sense, but that doesn't excite me at all. Like that I'm sick of the Broncos, I guess.
Carolina Panthers quarterback Aaron Rodgers.
Ew, God.
That just sounds weird. I pictured that in a jersey just now. I don't like that at all. Him in that Carolina blue jersey would be so weird looking.
Ew, God. Ew.
The Cheyenne Woodley enjoy Bojangles is my question.
You know, with his stance on vaccines and all that kind of stuff, he would probably thrive in the South. So,
Texans. Texans,
Jacksonville,
Panthers,
Trevor Lawrence.
God,
how awful would that be?
God, they send him from, you're in Jacksonville where it's sunny and beautiful. You gotta go to Green Bay now.
Go to Green Bay, and now
he's lived in Georgia and in Clemson where it's really hot in the summer.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers can ride off into the sunset like Brady and just go, you know, play some retirement ball for a couple years in Florida. Oh my God.
Hey, if Brady retires now. But who goes to Tampa Bay?
Right. Okay. What a segue. The other game we had on Sunday was the Rams at the Buccaneers. And this one was set up to be a very, very good game. You know, on paper, out of these four games, obviously we knew Bills Chiefs was going to be a masterpiece. But this one was probably the one that I was second most hyped for, just because of the two teams going at it. Now, the Buccaneers did have a lot of people out. But yeah, this game did not disappoint, and the Rams almost became the new meme. But sorry, Falcons, you're still the meme. Rams,
they had a quarterback from Georgia, so they were like, all right, we got half of this done.
Yeah. The Rams were up in this game 27-3 and blew it until they didn't blow it and kicked the game-winning field goal. That's the short story. But the long story, Rams win 30-27. Matthew Stafford, 28-38, 366 yards, 2 touchdowns. In his second career, that's a lie. Like his 5th career playoff game, which is ridiculous because he's been in the league for a long time.
It's his first trip ever to the NFC Championship, though.
Correct. So. Yeah, his first ever divisional round game. Let me put it that way too.
Yeah.
Cam Akers is back running the football. Yeah, he didn't run too great though because this is a very good run defense in Tampa Bay. 24 yards.
He had that fumble at the very end too. That really almost cost him the game.
Yeah, but you know who had a spectacular day and has had a spectacular season, and that is Cooper freaking Kupp out of Eastern Washington. How about that? 9 receptions, 183 yards, and a touchdown for him. Obviously, he had the biggest play of the game getting open at the end. But anyway, Rams up 27-3. Brady starts to turn it on, 30 of 54, 329 yards, a touchdown, and 1 pick for him. Fournette had 51 yards on the ground. Mike Evans, 8 receptions, 119 yards for him. And Gronk had 4 catches for 85 with a long of 42. But yes, this game was wild. Like I've said a couple times, 27-3. Bucks start coming back, and then you just feel that Brady, that deal with the devil, that black magic coming on.
I literally sit there and go, he's going to do it again. He is going to do it again. And if that would have happened and the Bills would have lost the same day, I would have been dead.
Yeah.
I would have died all the way.
Yeah, this sequence is kind of wild. It's 27-3. Bucks kick a field goal. Rams come out, run one pass. They pass to Cooper Kupp. The sure thing. This can't fail. Cooper Kupp catches it, fumbles. Bucks get it, 7 plays, 30 yards, touchdown. Okay, it's a 14-point game. Rams go 3 and out. Bucks get the ball, run one play. Brady gets sacked. Scratch that. Strip sacked by Von Miller. Where have we seen this before, Cam?
Yep.
And the Rams recover the ball. The Rams get the ball. And they fumble the ball. Jason Pierre-Paul, it's a freaking snap over the head of Matthew Stafford. He was not ready for it. And I don't know, Richard, are you looking at the play-by-play at all?
Yeah.
Well, you see what it says? Matthew Stafford aborted. That seems aggressive. It seems aggressive to me. Anyway, the ball flies over Matthew Stafford's head, rolls back to about the 50, and the Buccaneers fall on it. And then they get it. There's all this momentum. Obviously, you can feel it. Like Brady's just, what kind of deal with the devil does this man have? Because, I mean, it's always just in his favor, right? And they end up turning it over on downs. So there goes all that momentum.
Yep.
Rams come down the field, go 49
This is all
yards.
happening in the fourth quarter, in the third, and the fourth quarter too. By the way, this all happened at the very end of this game.
Yeah, there's just a lot going on, and the
like
Rams
you thought Bills Chiefs had a lot at the end. This had so much stupid stuff at the end too.
Yeah, the Rams are about to embark on a 5-minute, 51-second drive, and then let me just read you the drive times for the rest of the game: 2:05, 30 seconds, 36 seconds, 55 seconds, a minute 43, 42 seconds. And somehow
so much stupidity happened.
We get a final result that ends on the final play of the game. But the Rams miss a field goal. Matt Gay got hurt in pregame warmups or whatever, and he's not feeling too good apparently. So he misses a field goal. Bucks get the ball. What do? They go turn it over on downs again. So, okay, now you're thinking, all right. Brady,
at that point, I'm thinking this game is finally over. The Rams are going to win this.
I think your luck's run out, huh, Brady? And the Rams get it back. What do? Go 3 and out right on cue. And then Brady, 3 plays, 77 yards. Scotty Miller, 19-yard catch. Fournette, 3-yard catch. And then a beautiful bomb to Mike Evans as he absolutely cooked Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
For 55-yard touchdown. It's 27-20. Here we go. Now there's 3 minutes and 20 seconds left. So it's a long shot, but we got to see what the Rams do here. And the Rams run Cam Akers up the middle for 3 yards, and they just hand it to Cam Akers again, and he goes for 3 yards. But Ndamukong Suh knocks it out, recovered by Levante David. The place goes nuts.
The Rams had 4 fumbles in this game. They lost. Yeah. And they won.
See, complete opposite of the Tennessee Titans.
Exactly.
Look, the turnovers killed the Titans, but then the Rams fumble away 4 times and lose them all 4 times. And what saves them? Elite quarterback play.
Yep.
But that's an indictment on Ryan Tannehill. I've already made my stance on him. I love him. But all right. Bucks get the ball, 7 plays, 30 yards, touchdown. Brady passes to Cameron Brate, someone that has, been there.
Yeah.
Cameron Brate's not been a part of this new regime in Tampa Bay. He's been there and he's seen the
worst parts of it.
Yeah. It's cool for him to get the touchdown and everything, but they tied at 27. All right, Rams, you have literally 42 seconds left for your playoff hopes, because if this goes to overtime, you were going to lose. That's just how things work.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brady, the black magic, the devil is real. All right. The Rams get the ball. Matthew Stafford starts it off with a bang by getting sacked by Ndamukong Suh and Jason Pierre-Paul. it's so crazy to me that Jason Pierre-Paul's still playing at an elite or a high level.
With 4 fingers on one hand, like
right,
insane.
Yeah. Props to him. What a guy.
Yeah.
So timeout, LA. That's their final timeout. 35 seconds left. Stafford passes deep left to Cooper Kupp. Got it. Pushed out of bounds at the LA 44 for 20 yards, and then this. Oh boy, this is so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it for Matthew Stafford. I absolutely love Stafford. And I like Cooper Kupp too, man. That dude's a baller.
Yeah.
Straight up the seam. Antoine Winfield, the safety. What are you doing, son? Cooper Kupp blows right past him. 44-yard bomb that puts the Rams in field goal position. They run up a la Matthew Stafford's done this before. If you remember his crazy play against the Cowboys, where he's just like, clock it! Clock it! He gets up there. He's doing the same thing. He clocks it. Freaking pumped up. Matthew Stafford's ready to go. Matt Gay comes out there, drills a 30-yard field goal. Season is over for Brady. The Rams move on. What a game. What a freaking game. What a weekend.
This is an insane weekend. Craziest stat I saw, this Jason Pierre-Paul's first ever playoff loss. The only times he's been to the playoffs were Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl last year, and the 2 times the Giants won the Super Bowl.
That's ridiculous.
That is insane that he is only he has his first ever playoff loss. This man has 3 rings.
God bless. I guess that makes up for years of mediocrity, because when the Giants were good, obviously they were really good and they won 2 Super Bowls, but the rest of the years they suck.
He also was crazy. He won Super Bowls either against Tom Brady or with Tom Brady.
That's wild. That's so crazy.
Insane how that just worked out.
Sports, man. Unreal.
Yeah.
But yeah, what an absolute beautiful weekend of football, despite the outcomes of our games. I mean, if you're just a regular fan, like what a fantastic weekend it was.
Yeah.
Every game was good. Every game was competitive. Every game had high drama.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better weekend, man. What a time. What a time.
Yeah. That's just wild. Just a lot of fun, man. Just so fun. Again, heartbreak is there, but also, man, just these other games were so much fun. And I think this weekend has a chance to be really fun too.
It does.
Yeah, championship weekend, and it starts at both games are on Sunday. So that's good for those who all one day. You start 3:00. By the way, 3:00 and 6:30. I like that time. I like it. It's not too late, not too early. I like it.
Right. Especially for the late crowd. I mean, you're not going to bed at 12:00 thinking, oh my God, I got to get up in the morning and go to work.
Yeah.
Now you get to go to bed at 10 and be like, oh my God, I got to get up in the morning and go to work.
But Cincinnati and Kansas City in the AFC Championship. These 2 teams played an instant classic earlier in the season.
They did.
Which the Bengals at the end were like trying everything to throw that game away, I feel like, but then decided to do the right thing and win it.
Let me say this: the Bengals giveth, and yet they taketh away, because the Bengals, with that win in the regular season, gave Tennessee the 1 seed, and then they took it right from them in the second round of playoffs. So, yay! Don't we love that?
And now it ends up Bengals have to go to Kansas City anyway.
What a game! This is going to be a fun game, man. I think a lot of people are probably writing this off because, a lot of people did have that mindset of the Chiefs Bills being in the Super Bowl last week, and Chiefs are obviously playing really good. But it's hard to count Joe Burrow out. Like I said, confidence is key, and Joe Burrow's got a ton of that. So, especially in a do or die situation, I mean, I'd rock with him. I mean, shoot. But Chiefs Bengals, it's going to be wild. It's going to be like 40 something degrees, so it's really not going to be that cold. Which usually out there, it kind of you've seen it get pretty frigid.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be that cold. It's in the middle of the afternoon, so maybe that'll play to the Bengals' advantage.
Yeah. Gotta get Joe Mixon going. They couldn't really do that against the Titans. Of course, you got to block because
you got to have better pass protection because I mean, Kansas City is going to be pinning their ears back too.
This Chiefs defensive line is still good. Interesting to see if Tyrann Mathieu plays. Of course, he had to leave because of concussion protocol last week. So interesting to see if he comes back for this one. He's listed as questionable. So see what happens with him. Same with Rashad Fenton as well too. So.
Yeah, 3:00 CBS. I'm sure Jim Nantz, Tony Romo will be on the call. And then 6:30 p.m. on Fox, NFC Championship game, 49ers Rams round 3. Yeah. Round 3. Obviously, we saw 2 good games in the regular season. Saw a really good game in the final week of the season where the 49ers clinched their playoff berth.
Yep.
It's crazy how we're right back in the same spot, man.
It almost ruined the Rams' chances of the division
true.
title. Of course, the Cardinals ended up losing that game. And Rams
Cardinals suck.
Cardinals, but still, it's wild.
But yeah, 49ers Rams 6:30 on Fox. I'm sure it'll probably be Joe Buck. Yuck. On the call. But SoFi Stadium in California. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think this is big for the Rams because obviously if they win, it's a home Super Bowl.
Yeah, for the second year in a row after never having that. That's wild.
Yeah, that is crazy to me.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a heck of a football game. These two teams are very familiar with each other. Obviously, like I said, they've played twice already this season. It's going to be a dogfight. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to see. We'll see if Jimmy G is going to blow it or not. Or, Matthew Stafford, he gets in his ways and he plays his stat Padford game where, he just tries to blow it and he just pads his stats. But I almost did that last week against the Bucs. So,
they had that big lead against the 49ers in the end of the regular season. 49ers came back and won it. So now they're doing what they did this time, didn't do last time. They restricted some of the ticket sales, but just people in the Los Angeles area to start off, but now they're up for resale, and I think the 49 fans are just grabbing them up like crazy. So it could be a 50-50 split. Yeah. For sure, which could be wild to see about because it was like a 49ers home game the last time they played. So
that's another good point, just to the fact that the Rams could have a home Super Bowl is the fact that still LA, while the Rams are good, like LA is so big and diverse that
it's not a football town.
Right. I'd be like if the Chargers would have ran the table and went all the way to the Super Bowl, you really expect that'd be a home game for the Chargers?
No. And especially when on the other side you have the Chiefs, who are always going to bring a bunch of fans, or the Bengals haven't been in the Super Bowl in forever.
Yeah, so they're going to be dying to go. And then obviously, if the 49ers make it, heck, it's going to be a home game for the 49ers because all them fans out there.
Mm-hmm. It would be kind of cool to get 49ers and Bengals because that's a Super Bowl rematch from 40 years ago. It was actually on Sunday. It was 40 years ago to the day was that matchup with Joe Montana against the Bengals. And that was John Madden's first ever Super Bowl that he called. I did not know that. They said that on the Bills broadcast. So could get that as a rematch again. Of course, I think 49ers rolled in that one for the win, I believe. So, but no, it'd be interesting to see.
It'll be fun.
It's going to be wild to see, especially if the 49ers get there. It's gonna be wild. This stat I'm watching something on ESPN, and the 49ers have won 6 straight against the Rams, which is wild to think that they have just dominated that rivalry right now.
This is a big game for Stafford to battle some demons.
Yep, for sure. So that should be a wild weekend starting on Sunday afternoon. So now we have the NFL talk. Of course, you're probably wondering what we move on to. We're going to move on to basketball as college basketball is deep in the conference play. And currently I'm watching Clemson and Duke. Clemson has a 1-point lead on Duke with 5.5 minutes remaining.
It's always Clemson, man. Duke always struggles with Clemson, I feel like.
What's weird is that Clemson has lost 19 straight games at Cameron. I did not realize it was that long. I thought they had one away. I know they had beaten them in Clemson before.
Yeah.
Clemson has found out how to shoot threes this year, and that's why that kept them in games. And of course, Duke has shot threes a lot, and I say that they just missed one, but this game's been wild. There's been a ton of dunks in this game that've been crazy too by both teams. So that'll be interesting to see how this one finishes up. Clemson can. Clemson 2 years ago, remember, they finally won Chapel Hill and then and COVID happened. I'm not saying they're both related. But the world did end when Clemson knocked off UNC in Chapel Hill for the first time ever. So
it's all your fault. And the basketball curse is real.
Oh, absolutely. Clemson
if something good happens for the Clemson basketball team, something bad will happen to the football team and vice versa.
Yep. Duke just hit a 3 to take a lead with 4.5 minutes left, and this is going to go down to the wire. Like Clemson in 2016 played NC State. NC State had a chance to win the game in regulation, missed the field goal. Clemson wins it in overtime. Clemson, of course, wins their first national championship in football since 1981. Since then, the Clemson basketball team has been cursed because they have more blown leads in ACC play and more losses, and they even made a Sweet 16 there at that point, blew a lead against Kansas. They made the tournament last year, blew a lead against Rutgers. They blew a 23-point lead against Boston College 2 weeks ago. So anytime Clemson gets up by more than 10 late in the game in an ACC game, I'm like, oh yeah, how are they going to blow this one this week?
Right. It's never safe.
Yeah, they're currently tied right now at under 4 minutes. So about to go to the media timeout. So we'll see. Watch Duke's going to go on a 10-0 run.
That's what Clemson does. No, Clemson will win this game. Clemson will win this game, and then they'll play the freaking Wake Forest and be up 30 and blow it.
Yep. That's what they did. Like, okay, what was? I'm sorry, Parker Fox. He went. I don't know how it's not up and down, or it was Nick Honor. I don't know how it's not up and down. Clemson just scored. He went to take a shot, and the ball went straight up in the air. and it just dropped in front of me. Just stared at it, but somehow got to PJ Hall. Okay. But yeah, so basketball season deep in the play. As it's wild. It's already the end of January. I feel like too.
Oh, I know.
Basketball season, it's been so deep. But we'll talk about some of our games as preview this. We'll go with the women first. South Carolina women. We're supposed to play UConn this week, but that game got changed for just reasons.
Yeah, I really don't even know.
Yeah, because I thought it was like a COVID issue with UConn, but then it was like, no, it was just got canceled.
Okay.
Which is weird, but they said they want to focus on conference play, which I get it. Nobody seems mad about it, but I'm like, huh.
Yeah.
Just a weird. It's just weird. It was just a weird situation. I'm gonna look up, see if that. Dang it. Okay. Well, this is still one of my top 5 games. So I'm gonna give you my top 5 games to talk about this weekend that you should watch. Number 5, I'll do North Carolina A&T and Gardner-Webb Saturday at 2 on ESPN Plus. I talk about that because Gardner-Webb, they lost to South Carolina upstate tonight by 3. But Gardner-Webb's only 3 losses in conference play have all been on the road against the top 3 teams in the conference. So Gardner-Webb's got something building there for sure. And of course, as an alumni, I'm going to always check them out and see how they do.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be interesting. Number 4, TCU and Kansas State. They play on Thursday at 7:30, also on ESPN Plus. I'm gonna talk about the girl. Oh gosh, I am forgetting her name. Ayo. Oh my gosh. I can see her.
Yes, I can too. I can't remember her name either. God bless.
Oh my gosh. She scored 61 points against Oklahoma State. Oklahoma,
it's the most all time in women's basketball game.
Did it, and also they started that game on a 15-0 run.
Yeah, and
Oklahoma is ranked top 15 or was.
Yeah, her name is Ayoka Lee.
Ayoka Lee. I was like, this was in there, but I can't. Yeah, 61 points. Also had 12 boards, so pretty good double.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Kansas State just rolled, so I just want to see what she can do against TCU, who I think is not very good. So I'm like, oh, do it again. That'd be funny.
Yeah. I forgot that they played South Carolina in the Big 12 SEC Challenge early in the year, and South Carolina won by 21. And Ayoka Lee, she was 5 of 12. She had 14 and 6 rebounds, so she was kind of held in check. Now, obviously, South Carolina's got Aaliyah Boston, who can match up pound for pound with her. And Boston was 9 of 11 and had 17 rebounds and 21 points. So, but
yeah. Also on Thursday, 6:00 on ESPN. Speaking of South Carolina, they take on Ole Miss. Again, it's supposed to be their game against UConn, but they got moved to this. Ole Miss coming off an upset win on the road themselves. I believe they beat Auburn. They beat Kentucky. They beat Kentucky on the road, 63-54. So Rebels looking good. That's their second win of a ranked team this year. It's their first time ranked in the poll since 2007. So and Ole Miss 17-2. They lost. Their losses are so weird. They lost to Tennessee 70-58. Tennessee's really good. Tennessee's first in the SEC right now. And then they lost their first game of the season to Belmont. 62-50. That's the only 2 losses this season. They have wins over South Florida and Kentucky, who are both ranked, and also on the road to beat Texas A&M is usually pretty good. So it's an interesting Ole Miss team against the number 1 team in the country. Should be a heck of a matchup for sure. Number 2, also on Thursday, 7:00, ACC Network, North Carolina and Duke. I know North Carolina women's basketball hasn't been as good as they have in the past, but it's North Carolina Duke. So that's always going to be a big matchup. Duke, number 21 in the country. They've looked really good. recently in conference play. And that's, the camera's going to be rocking when those two teams meet. And finally, on Sunday, this is a big time game. 4:00, it is Arizona and Stanford. Arizona number 8, Stanford number 2, meeting in Palo Alto. Arizona 4-2 in the Pac-12. I haven't looked great. Lost to Oregon and USC, but have recovered beating Utah and Colorado. Stanford 14-3 this year. This should be a heck of a matchup for sure on Sunday afternoon. So those are probably my top 5 games you should watch for women's basketball. Duke just took a 2-point lead with 1:48 left. So kind of keep an eye on that. Looking at the men's side, ACC's wild still, despite not being a great conference. Miami, we thought, they're going to turn a corner. Nope, they lost to Florida State, and Florida State's all of a sudden back on top. Wake Forest beats North Carolina by 20, which is wild. Duke just took a 4-point lead on Clemson.
Yep.
And so they're still up the top. They're still ranked number 9 in the country. Virginia's looked bad. Louisville's looked meh. Clemson's Clemson.
Yeah.
NC State's not been great, but they had a big win over Virginia Tech, who has at times looked amazing. ACC is just weird this year.
Yeah, for sure. There was a game. Hold on, let me find it. Last night, it was Louisville and Virginia, and I never saw how it came out, but okay. So Louisville lost 64-52. But there was a point in this game. I'm about to look at the game cast, and I was a sports break here in Greenwood watching it, and it was with 6:25 left in the first half. Louisville had 8 points.
Oh my gosh!
It was 27-8 Virginia. Now Virginia won by 12, so. Virginia's obviously known for their defense, but with 6 minutes left in the first half, Louisville had 8 points. And I looked at Malik and I was like, what is this? Like, I know Virginia's having a down year, but their defensive scheme is still alive and well. So just in case you thought it wasn't, they still couldn't play defense.
Hunter Tyson just broke 3 for a slam. So now it's 69-67, 38 seconds left. Because Duke missed the front end of a 1-and-1. So this is going down to the nitty gritty, by the way. So you're going to see a live update. Also live, Illinois is beating Michigan State 56-50 right now, which has been a fun game. And Georgetown and UConn just started. Missouri basketball is one of the worst basketball teams I've ever seen of this year. They almost beat Alabama the other night and ended up blowing that one. They're up by 6 on Auburn halfway through the first. I know they could blow this because they're probably going to, because Missouri is garbage.
Yeah.
Because I think they played Arkansas, and I only noticed this because they got on top 10 because they had a really good chase down block. I couldn't look at that because the score was 28-4.
My God.
Yeah. And Missouri got on SportsCenter for a block. I'm sorry. I can't look at that when they're down 28-4. Now you're playing defense. I'm sorry. Now you're going to play some defense. And I think Missouri, let me look at Missouri. They're 8-10. Yeah, they lost to UMKC 80-66 at home earlier in the year. They lost to
the Kangaroos.
Yes. They went to Liberty and lost to them by 21, 66-45. And then they got annihilated by Kansas 102-65. This team's horrible.
Yeah.
And they beat Alabama once. I forgot they beat Alabama 92-86. The Arkansas game, they lost 87-43.
Sheesh.
This team is horrible. They have 2 conference wins. One's over Alabama, one's over Ole Miss. I don't know what that says about Ole Miss. Oh, they have Iowa State on Saturday in the SEC Big 12 Challenge. Ew. Missouri basketball is horrible, man. I just want to get that off my chest. They might be the worst Power 5 team I have had the misfortune of seeing play at some point this year.
And they used to be good, man. The fall off has been crazy.
Yeah. they used to be in the Big 12 were great. Then in Kansas would go back and forth, and they were pretty good in the SEC to start off too. And
who was their point guard? Phil Pressey when they were 2 seeds and got knocked out they got knocked out by the 15.
Yeah, maybe like Norfolk State with
that's right.
Paolo Quinn.
Yeah,
on that team. God.
Yeah.
That since then, I think Missouri's done anything basketball wise.
Right.
I'm gonna watch this dude game. There's 20 seconds left. Dribbling.
Yeah, no, I'm watching it too.
Cool. We're gonna get live reactions here.
Yeah.
Feed inside, spin move up, makes it 4-point game. 10 seconds left.
Let's go, Paolo.
Fill out the honor. Corner 3, no good. Rebound by Tyson. He's got to shoot it. 5 seconds left. 3, no good. Rebounds up, and it's good with 1.7 seconds left. 2-point game.
Okay, that's a nice little reverse.
Yeah.
All right, so a sliver of hope for Clemson here.
Yeah. No, because this is going to happen. Powell is going to break 3 wide open down the court and have a jam at the end, and that's when this game's going to end because they're going to forget something, or they're going to have 6 people on the court because that's how they lost the game earlier this year.
That would be fun.
I can't really. They did that against St. Bonaventure. They lost 6 people on the court.
Another game that they blew a lead, right?
Yep, they were up by 12. Then about 12 minutes left in the game, and I think Bonaventure went on a 16-4 run or something like that. Yeah, pain. That's the Clemson basketball way. We sold our souls for that football title, but worth it. And then broke the universe when they beat UNC in Chapel Hill.
Well, Clemson does have the possession error here, so
that's true.
You could obviously you want your
gotta
first
get a quick jump ball. Yeah,
you want your first reaction here is you want to deny the ball. Obviously, you don't want them to have the chance. You want to try for the 5 second.
Yeah.
And then and there's only a second, 1.7 seconds left, so getting a tie up is going to be tough.
Yeah,
but
you also have no timeouts. So I bet you if you're Duke, you're just eating it because if that ball gets tipped and Clemson grabs it, they got to throw it up.
I know it's dirty, but in this situation, like if there is somebody guarding me on the front, like I'm just trying to throw it off at anybody. Like I don't care. As soon as it touches somebody, that clock goes.
Yeah.
Throw it at somebody's feet. Yep. Like something. I know it's dirty, but my God, just do that. Like I'll do anything to win. I don't give a crap.
Yep. Just a little laser beam that's on his back. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I swear, my gosh, yeah. If he's not even looking at you inbounding the ball, I mean, you throw that thing off of him, ricochet it off his calf muscle, and just let it roll around. I mean, shoot. It's not
run in, just bat it forward.
Yeah. The odds of somebody from Clemson catching that ball for ricochet and then getting a good enough look to make it are slim to none.
Yeah,
so
1.7 seconds, no chance. If it's like 5 seconds, yeah, don't do that. But
yeah, and Duke home cooking, you know that guy's finger on that clock is gonna be like sitting there waiting. He's just ready to press it. As soon as he sees something, it's over.
Yep. That happened some game I was watching. They kept running the clock down so much. It was like, and the referee, I think it was football, the referee's like, reset the clock.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, this must have been a full timeout.
Yeah.
While we're waiting, I was going to start my top 5 games for men this weekend. Number 5, Gardner-Webb's at UNC Asheville on Thursday at 7:00, but it's on ESPNU.
Hey, yo.
Nationally televised game. Asheville is usually pretty good. Gardner-Webb has had hey, guess what? Gardner-Webb had a heartbreaking loss to Winthrop. That's never happened before in my life. 3 at the buzzer just fell short. Great game against Winthrop as always. Just heartbreaking against Winthrop. So not a good week. I was hoping, they lost that, and then Carson Newman lost a heartbreaking men's game too. So let's get it out of our system now, and then have the Bills win. And then Clemson basketball beat Pitt, and that's what happened. Clemson basketball beat Pitt, and I couldn't be happy. So
yep,
and Duke won too on Saturday. So I was like, nope, you don't get 3 happy teams.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a game.
Yep, that'll do it.
Yep. It's like Johnson fell down, and that's a game. So Duke wins 71-69.
Yeah, I told you last week that all my sports teams were doing too good. Something had to give, and unfortunately, it had to be the Titans biting the dust against the Bengals. So.
Listen, 12 weeks ago today, the Braves won the World Series.
That's a distant memory. It's out of my mind. Don't care. I'm sad.
But still great though.
Resign Freddie Freeman for God's sake. Like, do something.
God, please.
Somebody do something. Are we even going to play baseball this year? Is that even a sure thing? Like
it's going to be like 38 games this year.
Did the Braves winning the World Series break the Major League Baseball? I mean, what's going on?
I think it did. It might have. Listen, worth it. Totally worth it.
Oh, 100%. If baseball's never played again, I'm completely satisfied.
Exactly. If that's how Major League Baseball goes out with the Braves on top, winning the World Series, fine.
I'm cool. You can move the next great Major League Baseball to Bulgaria. We'll just have the World Series be played in Bulgaria, and everybody has to go there. And I'll watch it frequently. But if they don't play MLB anymore, that's fine. Great.
All right. So continuing my top five, Michigan State play Saturday at noon on CBS. Always a good rivalry matchup in the Big Ten. That's always a lot of fun. And of course, CBS always gets that game too, which is just a big time matchup.
Yeah.
And Michigan State right now is down 2 to Illinois, so it's gonna be a lot for the moving in the Big Ten. Three-game Baylor is at Alabama on Saturday at 4 on ESPN, part of the Big 12 SEC Challenge. Alabama started off so hot and have kind of fallen off a little bit, but that's still a tough place to play. And Baylor, I keep forgetting Baylor won the national championship last year.
Oh, yeah, me too.
And they're number 4 in the country. They were the last team that was undefeated to lose. And I was like, oh, Baylor's so quiet all year, and they're so good. So interesting to see what happens when they go to Tuscaloosa. Number 2 on Sunday at noon, Ohio State and Purdue. That's always a tough place for Ohio State. Ohio State does not do well against Purdue in anything, I feel like. They always struggle with them at some point. So,
yeah.
So that, and number 1, Kentucky at Kansas, Saturday at 6 on ESPN. Inside of Fog Alley, Kansas has had a big win over Texas Tech. I'm interested to see which of those teams wins in the Big 12 SEC Challenge. Also have Tennessee and Texas this weekend. That could be a lot of fun too.
Mm-hmm. And
then Auburn plays Oklahoma as well. So Auburn ranked number 1 for the first time in school history.
Yeah, shout out to them.
Yeah, another Bruce Pearl team in orange. That's number 1. Interesting to see that, and then I know he did that justfully and rightfully, and there are no bagmen waiting anywhere for the players.
Right.
Oh man, had to get that in there.
Yeah.
So that is men's basketball. Also, let's shout out NBA because we gotta keep shouting out the Memphis Grizzlies because they keep winning.
Oh, yeah. I want to run through just right now what we got conference standings wise. Eastern Conference as of today, the Miami Heat are 30-17. They're holding on to the 1 spot in the East, followed very closely by the Bulls, who are a half game back. They've been playing great. Zach LaVine, all them boys, and the Bulls have really just gone from the basement, and now they're having a really good season. Brooklyn is in the 3 spot at 29-17. Interesting thing about Brooklyn, they are 12-11 at home, but they're 17-6 on the road because they have Kyrie on the road.
I was say they have Kyrie Irving playing for them on the road.
Right.
So.
Milwaukee at 4, Cleveland 5, who's been another.
They've been surprisingly good this year. Like
the underdog really success story. Philadelphia at 6, Joel Embiid playing some great basketball. Mm-hmm. Charlotte at 7, Boston 8, Toronto 9, and Washington 10. Why do we tell you the top 10? Because the NBA is still using their play-in format, which I do like and think is pretty cool.
Yeah, I like it. It gets kind of confusing at the end, but I like it though. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. The Knicks, Hawks, Pacers, Pistons, and the lowly Orlando Magic, who are 9-39, wrap up the Eastern Conference.
The Magic have won on a winning streak. They won the other night. They're 2 of 8 in their last 10. Don't look at that. But God, they're 3-17 at home. Imagine having season tickets for this team.
Yeah, you. What is that? American Airlines Arena? No, I don't know. That's might be Miami.
That's one.
Whatever. It's a sad arena. Is my point.
Yeah, you get to see Mo Bamba, and they play that song probably 40 times.
Oh, I'm sure it gets just ingrained into your brain.
Oh, this roster is sad. I looked at their roster. It's
not good ever since they got rid of Vucevic.
Yeah, there's your bright spot is Terrence Ross.
Yeah.
Wendell Carter.
Gone are the days of JJ Redick and Jameer Nelson. Yeah. As if that was a good team. But
JJ got them to a championship. Now, was Dwight Howard on that team? Yes, but still, I like to think JJ was on that team.
Yeah, they got there and ran into LeBron in the Eastern Conference Finals, and see ya. And
I'm sorry, these are all players that I'm really good with on 2K, but I know are horrible in real life. So I just want to say that I would be great with the Magic in 2K.
All right. Western Conference, the Phoenix Suns are 37-9, still sitting in the top spot. Closest team to them is Golden State, who's 3.5 games back at 34-13. And in the 3 spot, our boys, the Memphis Grizzlies, led by John Morant, Desmond Bain, Jaren Jackson Jr., Dylan Brooks, and Steven Adams. I will say one thing. I think I was nervous about losing Valanciunas over the offseason because we offloaded him to the Pelicans in exchange for Steven Adams, who I've always liked, and I loved him when he was in OKC with Russ and Durant.
Yeah.
And Harden. It's still crazy to me that that collection of people did not win a title. But getting Steven Adams, I was a little nervous, but it's been amazing. I mean, Memphis has turned a corner. Desmond Bain's playing fantastic basketball, and obviously John Morant is ascending to otherworldly status.
After that big win streak, they're kind of going back and forth, but they've had a tough schedule of late. They lost to Dallas, beat Chicago, really good Chicago team. Lost to Milwaukee, who's good, of course. Beat Denver on the road, lost to Dallas on the road. They got San Antonio left on the road, who's still sneakily good. And then Utah, Washington, and Philly in the next 4 games. So it's a tough stretch right here. But if they can get through that with some wins, that would be clutch for them for sure.
For sure. And then the Jazz are in the 4 spot, Dallas at 5, Denver at 6. And your final 4 spots as far as playoffs go, Minnesota is at 7. They've done a really good job, getting themselves out of the basement this year. The Lakers, obviously everyone's favorite team because LeBron's there, sitting at 8. The Clippers right behind them at 9, and Portland at 10. And on the outside looking in are the Pelicans, who just in a bad situation. I mean, just with they got Valanciunas, who's fine, and obviously we like him because of his time in Memphis. But the whole Zion Williamson thing just seems like you're never going to catch a break on it. Is he ever going to be healthy? Who knows? Sacramento, another team that has young talent, but they're cursed. Ever since they lost in the finals to Kobe back in the day, when they have Vlade Divac and all them boys and Peja Stojakovic. Oh man, that boy used to rain threes on 2K.
NBA Live 04, Peja Stojakovic, unstoppable.
I forgot 2K wasn't a thing back then. Well, not as popular a thing. San Antonio, which is just knowing what they come from. Like we knew it was going to be tough once
they started off hot, but man, they have.
And Houston sucks, and OKC sucks.
I can't name anyone that plays for OKC or Houston. I don't think right now.
I think Gilgeous-Alexander is the only one I know. Doesn't he play for Oklahoma City?
Yes, he does. The rest of this, Mike Muscala plays for what?
Yeah, what the heck is he doing?
Those are literally Derek Favors. Lugo Dort, who had that, who was great in the bubble.
Yeah.
That's about Isaiah Roby. That name sounds familiar. Oh, he played at Nebraska. Okay. I gotta look at Houston had Chris Clemens from Campbell at one point. I think they got rid of him, unfortunately. That's why they're horrible, because that man.
Yeah, that's why they suck.
Yeah, go Chris Clemens forever, man. Big South forever. Saw that man almost
DJ Augustine at 34 years old, still bouncing around the league, making $7 million a year. Like, God bless. What a life.
Eric Gordon's making $18 million.
Yeah. That boy is only good when you got talent around him.
Yeah. Kevin Porter Jr. God. Daniel Feast. John Wall is on this team making $44.3 million.
Yeah, what a waste.
And Steven Silas is their coach. That's your first problem.
at least I think Christian Wood's pretty good.
Yeah, I think he's had some stuff, but
I could be wrong. Heck, I don't know. But yeah, that's your NBA rundown.
Give me a rundown is that the Magic, Rockets, and Thunder are in the mud.
Yeah,
that's your NBA rundown.
Yeah, and that DJ Augustine's still making $7 million a year.
John Wall, $44 million. Oh my God.
I remember the Charlotte Bobcat DJ Augustine. If you don't remember them days, you don't get to talk about them.
You saw 2 wins in that 7-win season, and one was over Boston. Now would a big 3 all of a sudden? Yes, but still,
I should have had season tickets. They would have won the NBA title.
I'm looking at the Cavs roster because I'm trying to remember who's on this team. Oh, Jared Allen. Okay, I knew Kevin Love, Laurie Markkanen, Evan Mobley, Cedi Osman. Oh, Rajon Rondo, I forgot was on this team. Ricky Rubio, Colin Sexton. This is not a bad roster. Dylan
Rondo
Windler.
just got there not long ago.
Yeah, this is not a bad team. Like
No.
Isaac Okoro, this is a good little team. Now, I don't know if they're
Mhm.
going to win anything this year, but it's nice to
Right.
see Kevin Love succeed too, because I like
Yeah.
Kevin Love, very good guy.
How does Ricky Rubio keep making ungodly amounts of money? Like you can't convince me that he's good.
Dude, I remember them talking about him, and they talked about him and Dragon Bender that played for the
Yeah.
Heat about being the two next big European stars, and it's like,
Yeah.
nope, it's Kristaps and Luka.
Well, you know somebody who I'm always going to have respect for, though, that I literally at one point in time, I have it written somewhere. It's somewhere on a piece of paper that I keep somewhere from my top 5 favorite basketball players in the current NBA from like when I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And that player is Goran Dragic.
Yep, absolutely.
I will always respect this man because on NBA 2K14, they trotted out a lineup with him at the point guard and Eric Bledsoe at the 2 guard, and their offense on 2K was a overall 99.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They were so freaking good. It was unbelievable. And then now I believe he's still where is Dragic now?
He was at Miami, and I think he got traded.
That's right.
Because he was on that team when they lost to somebody.
Yeah.
Oh, he's at the Raptors.
Nice.
Interesting.
I guess not nice. I don't think they're doing too good, but
they said
also,
he might get traded to the Knicks. I don't know if that's any better, but
yeah, probably not. One more thing.
See him on side
that I'm just coming. Yeah, that'd be great. That I'm just coming to the realization. Bismack Biyombo is a Phoenix. Yeah, is a Phoenix Sun. So good for him.
Oh, get that man a ring.
This man is only 29. Are you kidding me?
That man's played an entire lifetime.
This man is 4 years older than me. No shot. He is at least 45. He played when Vince Carter was a rookie. Shut up.
Let me see.
That's ridiculous.
My God. Yeah, he got drafted in 2011 and was traded to the Bobcats. He has played. Oh my gosh, he has played. Well, first he played these weird European teams, of course. Then he played for the Charlotte Bobcats / Hornets from 2011 2015, the Raptors for 2 years, the Magic for 3 years, back to the Hornets for 3 years, and now with the Suns. This man's been in the mud for years, and now he's got a chance to shine. I'm proud of him.
Man, this boy sucks. Boy, he's been in the league. He shoots 56% from the line. He averages 6 rebounds a game. This is over his whole career. He averages 5 points a game. This man sucks.
I gotta find the Bobcats now. That entire schedule year by year. I gotta find them again.
Oh man,
God, that team. God, what a time to be! I remember their first ever broadcast on TNT was just to see if they would lose to the Wizards and break the record for lowest winning percentage.
Yeah,
that's your first ever broadcast on TNT, and they lost by like 29 to the Wizards because no one cared.
They're so bad, dude. They were 7-36 and they finished 7-59. Do the math. 23 straight losses.
They literally we're done.
Is this going to pull up that roster? No, shoot.
I got it.
That roster.
But
that roster was that roster is comprised of, before you read them out, if I can remember, DJ Augustine, Byron Mullins. I guess Biyombo was a part of that. I'm sure he was.
Yes, he was.
Was Gerald Wallace still in that team?
He was not.
That was after him.
Yeah.
That was after the golden years of the Bobcats.
There's so many Duke players on this team.
Yeah, Gerald Henderson was on this team.
Mm-hmm. There's another Duke player on this, and I don't know if you're going to get it because it surprised me. I forgot he was on this team.
Oh, was it Josh McRoberts?
No, it's not him.
Oh, darn it. But he was a Bobcat.
Yeah, he was a Bobcat later, but
older Duke player. Mike Dunleavy?
No, but I think you're at the right era, though.
It wasn't Shane Battier.
No.
I don't know. You got to give it to me.
Corey Maggette.
Oh, my God. Yo.
This was also.
I forgot that man went to Duke.
Yeah, this was also Kemba Walker's rookie year. Imagine walking into the league. You've just had an improbable run with UConn for the championship.
Yeah, and you walk into this.
And you come to this.
Yeah.
And you've got to deal with Byron Mullins and old Corey Maggette.
Yeah. But
The
now
Sanga Diop.
You got a 4-game stretch from March 4th to March 9th where they played 4 games and Maggette had 24, 29, 25, and 19. That man was hooping. And who was their leading rebounder for all those games? Bismack Biyombo. Man.
Your rookies were Bismack Biyombo, Kimball Walker, and Corey Higgins from Colorado.
Yeah.
I have never heard of Corey Higgins in my life. He played 44 games in his career and averaged 3.7 points. That season, he averaged 3.9 points for the Bobcats in 38 games. Didn't start a single game.
God bless.
What a team! And you saw them win twice. I think you saw. Didn't you see them play the Pistons twice? So you saw Charlie Villanueva play twice.
Yes, and maybe for some reason I remember Greg Monroe. Was that was back when he was a Piston? I think.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure you saw them play. They didn't beat the Pistons, but I'm pretty sure you saw them lose to the Pistons twice. And
I probably did. I did go to a lot of games. It feels like.
They won their first game of the season.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're done here.
Yeah, started off hot and they put it in park.
This is, oh God, looking back at this is just, because there were times they lost to the Knicks on my birthday that year, 111-78.
Yeah. They played a game. Oh God. They played a game versus the New Orleans on Monday, April 16th that finished 75-67. The third quarter in the highest level of basketball on the planet Earth was 12-8, New Orleans.
This is horrible. Okay, well.
Can you tell me, take your wildest guess? Don't look. Who was the point guard for New Orleans that scored 20 points? Not named Chris Paul.
I think it was on that team around then.
I tell you what, this boy was good in college, and he got his heart broken in his final game in the tournament by Michigan State.
Oh, Lance Thomas?
No, he played for Maryland. Grievous Vasquez.
Oh my God!
Boy, that boy was so good at Maryland, and Maryland fans will die by him. And he was so good at Maryland. It's a shame he didn't pan out in the NBA, but he had 20 points against the Bobcats that night. But Gerald Henderson outshined him with 20.
This Hornets roster is something else. Alfarica Minu, Grievous Vasquez, Marco Bellinelli, Jason Smith, and Lance Thomas are your starting 5.
A young Bellinelli.
Yeah. And then you have Gustavo Ayon, no idea who that is, Carl Landry, Xavier Henry, and Jerome Dyson off the bench. The 4 players that were out for the Hornets, Jarrett Jack, 2K GOAT, by the way, on 2K12 or whatever. He was automatic. He was Curry before Curry was Curry.
2K GOAT when he was a net.
Absolutely. Eric Gordon did not dress. Trevor Ariza did not dress. And Chris Kaman.
Oh, man. I love Kaman. But they did this to New Orleans earlier as well. March 12th, 73-71. Bobcats won. What a game. What a 2 games.
I just brought up Jamario Moon's page because that's a name I've not heard in years. 286 games, 6.3 points, so he averaged. His only good year was his rookie year, and he still only averaged 8.5 points. He averaged 6 rebounds too. That's not terrible. But his nicknames: Apollo 33. It's the moon. You see, you get it.
Yeah.
And the Screwdriver. Who is going around going, Jamario Moon? That's the Screwdriver right there. That's my guy.
You should have seen Jamario Moon last night. Oh, you mean the Screwdriver? Man, shut up.
Dude. All right, now I gotta find a Jamario Moon jersey. I don't care what team, either Raptors or he played for the Raptors, the Heat, the Cavs, went back to the Raptors, went back to the Cavs, the Clippers, and then he was in Charlotte for that 1 year. And then I think he's like, you know what? This is time to follow the career because
Yeah. I just realized that they have New Jersey when they play the Nets and when they play the New Orleans Hornets, that they're grayed out because those teams technically don't exist anymore.
I found a Jamario Moon Cavs jersey for sale on eBay.
Oh, there you go.
$7. It's a youth medium. Never mind. What do you get your child that for Christmas?
Just buy it. Just buy it and hang it up. Just buy it and hang it in your room or something.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy just mediocre basketball player jerseys, hang them up. That's my Hall of Fame. Just give me all the mediocre basketball player jerseys and I'll hang them up here.
Oh, man.
All right. Well, now we've reminisced about the greatest basketball team of all time. That's NBA talk. We'll wrap it up here.
It's amazing how this podcast started and how it's ending.
We had to cheer ourselves up by talking about Jamario Moon, the screwdriver.
Yeah. Apollo 33.
Well, get me a jersey that says the screwdriver. Go walk around Cleveland and be like, "Oh, hey, are you Jamario Moon fan?" Yeah.
Massive Jamario Moon fan. Best player of all time. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly. What are you talking about? We'll go the best play I saw this week. Mine's going to be, it comes from Carson Newman, and it made it on the Sports Center's top 10. Ren Dyer, you've probably seen it where people pass the ball off Peepone's back. We just talked about what Duke should have done against Clemson, possibly. Ren Dyer did it to perfection off the back of a Coker player for a slam dunk. And gets the win over Coker. Ren Dyer, gotta give up for him. He broke his ankle in the offseason, had to have surgery, comes back, gets a nasty bout with the flu, and he has to miss a ton of time with that. Comes back, and now finally starting to get back in the form for Carson Newman. Just a great guy, too, and great to see him do this, and also great to see Carson Newman on top 10 place.
Oh, yeah. All right, and mine, I'm a Titans homer. I got to point out the positives on such a somber weekend. So mine are actually, I'm going to highlight two of them, but it's going to be the Amani Hooker interception, turning the tide, getting a field goal, coming out, getting an interception, change the momentum, only down a touchdown. And then Ryan Tannehill, for as bad a day that he had, the best throw that he made all freaking year to AJ Brown, like you said earlier, just right in the breadbasket, put it right in the box, man. It was beautiful. Got the Titans back in the game. Obviously, the game didn't end how I would have liked it to, but this beautiful. That's something that two things, I guess, that I can take away from this game that for the rest of my lifetime, I will always look back at this play and be able to watch it and feel pretty good about it, obviously ignoring the actual end result. But the two plays, AJ Brown, give him all the money. Ryan Tannehill, we've already given him all the money. We're kind of stuck with him, but AJ Brown, whatever you want, you got it.
Yeah, that was wild. Just two great plays. I'm looking up Bismack Biyombo jerseys, by the way. Someone has a signed Charlotte Bobcats Bismack Biyombo jersey for sale.
What is that going for?
$125.
I'll give you
$12.50. Someone has also made, the All-Star jerseys when they were in Toronto when they were black and gold or whatever.
Yeah.
There was a Bismack Biyombo one. He was nowhere near being an All-Star.
Why? He didn't even know that game was being played.
It's $43, and it's not a bad looking jersey. And then until you see Biyombo right on the back, baby.
If they're just gonna give every player an All-Star jersey, then what's the point?
Okay, the same person has another signed Bismack Biyombo jersey that's $109. What?
How did he get these?
I don't know. They're both Charlotte.
Without collecting these, like just thinking one day, these are going to be worth a lot when he hits it big. Yeah.
Okay, there is a T-shirt that says Bismack freaking Biyombo. That's
okay, I kind of like that.
I kind of want that. I'm not gonna lie.
I would wear that a lot.
So that's gonna do it. They'll join us next week. We probably talk about more stupid NBA players we remember.
Yeah, now that football's winding down, this podcast is probably gonna get a little bit obscure. So just hang in there.
We're just gonna have 1 week. We're just gonna, whenever it's like deep in the summer when it's just baseball on. Oh, we're gonna talk about so much stupid crap on this show. I can tell you
so much stuff. It's just gonna be us talking, and we're
just gonna list off names of athletes. You've seen the meme of guys can do that for 5 hours. That's gonna be us. We're just gonna list off random athletes and just go.
And that will be our longest podcast. And we've had some long ones.
Okay.
But that one will be the longest.
I will say this too. This Bismack freaking Biyombo shirt is like from like a custom ink type website. Mm-hmm. You can get a face mask with Bismack freaking Biyombo. I kind of want that.
Let me tell you what don't stop COVID, and that is that mask. That mask ain't gonna do you a bit of good.
You can get, oh my God, you can get a baby onesie with Bismack freaking Biyombo. If I ever have a child, I want
Yes.
that.
Yes. Oh my God.
We have gone down such a rabbit hole. I'm going to end this here. This is amazing. Thanks for listening. We'll talk about more Bismack stuff next week. You've been listening to Breakfast Time with Waffle and Richard. Logos designed by Jen Perry. You can follow Richard on Twitter at Ricardo_knows or on Instagram at RNM1996. Catch up with Waffle at WaffDog on Twitter. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on this Bearded Broadcaster production.